Chapter 174. After all, the train is different from home. People who have slept in a hard sleeper know that they will be woken up at 6 or 7 o'clock. Lin Luoran stays up all night. She has accumulated a lot of Reiki jade. All she needs to do is to take one out of the space and hold it in her hand to cultivate. There is no Reiki on the train, which is full of turbid Reiki. When Rong opens his eyes, he sees that the sister on the lower berth is reading a magazine. He doesn't know where she got it. This is a slow train and they will arrive at Xi'an at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Rong has already told Luodong the lie he told yesterday. Besides, he doesn't have any more instant noodles for Luodong and Luodong. What should he do? Luodong's sister looks so aloof. Rong wants to help them, but he doesn't know where to start. While Rong is struggling, Luodong wakes up. After washing up, Luodong and Luodong start chatting again. This time, Rong gets more information. For example, Luodong and Luodong are from the R city and they are on this train because they finished their trip in the capital and came to Xi'an. This is even weirder. Who has money to travel but no money to eat? Rong is confused. It's time for dinner again, but Luodong's sister still doesn't say anything. When Rong opens his mouth again, Luodong refuses to take any food from him. Luodong is smart. He must have figured out that Rong is just trying to be nice to Luodong. The slow train takes 24 hours to get from the capital to Xi'an. According to Rong's plan, 3 packets of instant noodles are enough for 3 meals. Luodong doesn't need help. However, to Rong's surprise, at noon, Luodong's sister, who has been silent all this time, takes out several 100 yuan bills from her pocket and puts them on the table. Luodong says, "Can you buy lunch for 3 people in the dining car, Luodong?" Lunch for 3 people. Does this mean that Luodong is going to buy lunch for Luodong? Luodong is happy that he can buy lunch for his new friend. He grabs the money and runs out of the carriage like a slippery fish. Rong says, "Okay." However, Luodong is already far away. Rong chokes back his words and says to Lin with his ears red, "The security on the green leather car is not good. You shouldn't have given a kid so much money." In fact, Rong doesn't know how to express his feelings. Lin Luoran gives Luodong a few 100 yuan so casually. It turns out that Luodong and Lin Luoran don't need his help at all. A few 100 yuan is not a lot, but it is enough for them to eat. Rong, a poor student who doesn't want to spend money on the train meal on the train, feels that he is overthinking and flattering them. In fact, Luodong and Lin Luoran don't need his help at all. Because of this contradiction, Rong says these words to Lin Luoran. He regrets it as soon as he says it. It's not right for him to talk about other people's business. Unexpectedly, Lin Luoran, who has been silent all this while, smiles faintly and says, "You are a good person. Good things will always be rewarded." Good things? Rong hears it clearly this time. Isn't it ridiculous for him to help Luodong? In Luodong's sister's eyes, he is doing a good thing. Rong doesn't understand the strange behaviors and thoughts of rich people. Although the price of food has skyrocketed in the past 2 years, Luodong can still afford to buy a meal for 3 people on the train with a few 100 yuan. Because of Luodong's good looks, the attendant in the dining car even brings the food back for him, which makes the other passengers jealous of Luodong who are working hard to get instant noodles for him. Seeing that Luodong is back, Rong notices that Luodong has become cold and arrogant all of a sudden. Luodong, who doesn't know what is going on, awkwardly greets Dong Lin to eat. What's more, Rong notices that Luodong only eats a few of the best dishes on the train. Luodong eats even less than the instant noodles last night. Apparently, they are very particular about what they eat. Rong scratches his head. The more he thinks about it, the more complicated it is. There are still some pimples on the corner of his mouth. After all, he is an innocent student. He doesn't have such complicated thoughts. Soon, he forgets about these unusual details and starts to eat shyly. "Dong Lin, are you also traveling to Chang'an?" After dinner, Luodong realizes that he hasn't asked Rong about this yet. No, I'm going home. Although Luodong is not a shy person, he is too embarrassed to tell Luodong that he is doing a part-time job at school. He doesn't have time to go home until the new term starts. Why is he embarrassed? Rong doesn't know. Luodong's speech becomes clearer and clearer. Time on the bus is short. They arrive at Xi'an railway station soon. Rong notices that Luodong don't have any luggage with them. What a strange pair of passengers. Rong is from Xi'an. He wants to ask Luodong if there is anything he can do to help. However, Luodong is so cold that he swallows his words. Luodong reluctantly leaves his contact information and says goodbye to Rong. Luodong is dragged by Luodong and they disappear in the crowd. It's not cool in Xi'an. Rong sweats profusely in the crowd at the train station. When he is about to buy a bottle of water, he finds a piece of paper in his pocket. It seems to be cut from a magazine. It looks familiar. Thank you for giving Luodong a chance to communicate with me. Contact me if you need anything. There is a phone number on the back of the note. The name, Lin Luoran, is signed on the note. The handwriting is delicate and powerful, just like Luodong's sister. Rong scratches his head. He forgot to tell Luodong that he is studying at Chuan University. However, he has only met Luodong once. How can he be so thick-skinned as to contact Luodong? Rong puts the note in his book and goes to a shop on the street to buy water. Maybe Rong doesn't know that the simple note he has received will only show its preciousness at certain moments. Lin Luoran, who has been staring at Luodong coldly all the way, starts to enlighten Luodong. Luodong, do you want to be as broad-minded as Rong? Luodong is confused and looks at her. Lin Luoran smiles. Have you ever observed the clothes of your Donglin? Luodong frowns and thinks for a while. A red t-shirt. Nothing strange. Why is there a connection between clothes and broad-mindedness? What about the cuffs? The cuffs seem to be white. Luodong is not a little emperor who has never lived a hard life. He immediately realizes that Rong is still wearing a white t-shirt. No matter how poor a rich man is, he can't be so thrifty. So, is Donglin's life very poor? Lin Luoran sees the expression on Luodong's face and knows that he must have figured it out. She continues to ask, we got on the bus yesterday and didn't have dinner. Why did Rong, who looks poor, give us instant noodles? Because Donglin is kind-hearted. Luodong blurts out. Lin Luoran holds his hand and walks into an outdoor equipment shop. She adds, he is broad-minded. Even though he doesn't have money, he is willing to give us a few bowls of instant noodles. Even though the instant noodles are the only food he prepared for himself on the bus. Luodong is confused. He seems to understand, but he doesn't know what Lin Luoran is talking about. Lin Luoran doesn't force him. She just shows him 2 sets of mountaineering equipment. Seeing that Luodong is still thinking, Lin Luoran smiles and touches his head. The boy rolls his eyes. Luodong is much more lively than before. Lin Luoran looks at the mountaineering equipment and doesn't say anything to Luodong. She even hopes that Luodong can be like Rong, who doesn't feel inferior because he is poor. If he wants to help others, he is willing to give up a bowl of instant noodles. If one was born into a poor family and could still calmly strive for self-improvement, although they might not necessarily be successful in life, they would have more than twice the chances of success compared to those who gave up on themselves. What is the saying? Height determines breadth of mind. Chapter 175. It is located in Huayin, 100 kilometers east of Xi'an. It is bordered by the Wei River Plain and the surging Yellow River in the north and the Qinling Mountains in the south. It is a granite mountain on the north side of the watershed of the Qinling Mountains. Of course, only people who are familiar with the geography can know the details of the mountain. Most people will be enlightened if they know the name of the mountain. The plain of the Wei River at the foot of the mountain is only 300 or 400 meters above sea level. However, this mountain is more than 1,700 meters above sea level. It is majestic and dangerous with steep cliffs. This is Lin Luoran's initial impression of Mount Hua after browsing on the internet. The language of the state of Huaxia is magical. Just a few sentences can describe the image of a strange mountain. Of course, this is not as strong as the feeling when you stand at the foot of the mountain. This feeling is especially prominent at night. It is 10 o'clock at night, the best time to climb Mount Huashan. At least Luodong's mouth is wide open. He stares at Mount Huashan in a daze. His eyes move all the way to the top of the mountain. Lin Luoran can understand his feeling. There are many mountains in the center of Chuan, but they are all gentle. Not to mention Luodong, even she has never seen such a dangerous mountain before. Let's go. Lin Luoran leads the way. Luodong, carrying a backpack that is almost half as tall as Lin, follows her closely. The tourists around shake their heads. This sister is so cruel. She asked a teenager to climb the mountain with a big backpack. Lin Luoran hears their whispers. At first, she turns a deaf ear to them. Later, she can't stand the whispers anymore. She glances around and the tourists immediately stop talking. Oh my God, this girl is so beautiful. Her eyes are as clear and bright as ice under the lights. It's a pity that it's so cold. Lin Luoran and Luodong get off in Xi'an and take a 3-hour bus to Mount Huashan. They are just in time to catch up with the tourists. People who choose to climb the mountain at this time are going to see the sunrise at the top of Mount Huashan at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. They have prepared enough food and water. Lin Luoran and Luodong each carry a big backpack. Lin Luoran has the space, so she doesn't need to bring any food. However, Luodong's backpack is full of outdoor supplies. The tourists accuse her of child abuse, but they are not wrong. Lin Luoran holds the iron chain and asks Luodong with a smile, "Do you want to take a break?" They have been climbing for more than an hour. Luodong, on the other hand, is sweating profusely. The stairs of Mount Hua are steep. Luodong can't move forward without holding on to the iron chains. Besides, he can't be distracted or carry heavy things. Luodong is only 12 years old, so it is very exhausting for him. However, his sister doesn't ask him to stop. Luodong is tough. He doesn't complain that he is tired. He keeps climbing for more than an hour. Lin and Luodong come to an open place where there are many small shops. Many tourists stop to rest. Lin and Luodong rest in a quiet place. Lin pretends to take out some peaches and grapes from her backpack. In fact, she takes them out of the space directly to fool people. The fruits in the space have a special aroma. When Luodong peels the peaches, the aroma permeates the space. The aroma of the peach spreads in the small space. There was a reason why people often associated tourism with food. Those who loved food did not necessarily love to travel. Those who loved to travel were mostly foodies. The fragrance of peaches wafted through the air. More than half of the tourists twitched their nostrils and keenly discovered the strong fruity aroma. Lin Luoran doesn't feel any pressure to eat a peach in front of so many people. However, Luodong is not so shameless. Seeing that all the grandfathers are staring at him, Luodong looks at the peach in his hand and feels embarrassed. However, there is a bunch of grapes in his other hand. Luodong thinks for a while and distributes the grapes to the tourists who are drooling. These grapes. An old man was afraid that the grapes would be too sour. Besides, what they coveted were the peaches that smelled very good. Seeing that the child had generously given him the grapes, he gave face and ate one. The skin was crispy, the juice was plentiful, and there was a hint of sourness in the sweetness. The old man dared to guarantee that he had never eaten such delicious grapes in his decades of life. Just as he was about to eat a few more, the grapes had already been passed to someone else. Only the stem was left. So sweet. Hey, little friend, where did you buy these grapes? Damn, are these grapes? What did I eat before? The passengers start to argue. No matter what they say, they all agree that Luodong's grapes are delicious. When they calmed down to look for the generous child, they found that the place where the siblings were standing was nowhere to be found. There are so many people, but they didn't see how the child left. How greedy he is. How embarrassing. Just as this group of tourists was about to continue climbing the mountain, a few other tourists chose to stop here to rest. They are wearing baseball caps and sweatshirts in the middle of the night, which is quite fashionable. They seem to be students. A boy walking in the front stops and takes out a bottle of water from his backpack. He hands it to a girl whose face is half covered by a baseball cap. Bing Yan, take a rest here. Drink some water. The girl's name is Bing Yan. She seems to think for a while before taking the water. This ordinary gesture makes the boy ecstatic. He stares provocatively at the only boy who is not wearing a cap. When Bing Yan raises her head to drink the water, her neck and chin are exposed. Although only half of her face is exposed under the light, Luodong can tell that she is probably a pretty girl. Pei Yuan, who is the last one to see the provocative look, smiles bitterly. This was a lousy plot in a novel. The beautiful and arrogant campus belle just had to get along well with him, a person who had nothing but a glib tongue. This made the campus belle's pursuers in the school feel that he was an eyesore. Last time, when he sent out the photo, some people believed it and some didn't. Xia Bingyan, who has always been good to Pei, belongs to the group of people who don't trust him. In a semi-public event, Xia Bingyan accused Pei of being down-to-earth and don't play to the gallery. This makes Xia Bingyan's pursuers feel that the relationship between Pei and Xia Bingyan is not good. They all stand on Xia Bingyan's side. They try to win Xia's favor by attacking Pei Yuan. For example, a rich man who has been in love with Xia Bingyan for many years organizes this trip to Mount Hua. In Pei Yuan's eyes, this man is the most cunning one among those who pursue Xia Bingyan. He is usually gentle and elegant. If Pei Yuan and Xia Bingyan's relationship hadn't been broken recently, Pei Yuan would have been fooled by this man's elegant appearance. Pei Yuan and Xia Bingyan started to play dirty tricks against Pei Yuan, humiliating him and elevating himself at the same time. If he knew this would happen, why did he still come? Recently, Pei Yuan has been surrounded by so many people. He wants to come out to relax. Besides, he wants to protect Xia Bingyan. So, he has to endure their sarcasm. Pei Yuan, in fact, I am curious. Maybe the fairy you saw that day is real. Zhang Shuming drinks some water and says seriously. Xia Bingyan's beautiful eyebrows are covered by the brim of her hat. Hearing this, she can't help but frown. Realizing their boss's intention, the henchmen all smile kindly. The girl in Xia Bingyan's dormitory has received many gifts from Zhang Shuming. If she doesn't help him now, when will she? Pei Yuan, I used to think you are an honest person. I didn't expect you to be so greedy. Well, Bingyan has a good temper. She even invited you to Mount Hua. If it were me, I would be ashamed to meet my good friend who told me such a big lie. The girl says a lot and Xia Bingyan doesn't stop her. Zhang Shuming is smiling. He is good at reading people's minds. Xia Bingyan used to have a good impression of Pei Yuan, but she didn't really like him. Now that Zhang Shuming intervenes, Xia Bingyan hates Pei Yuan. God is helping Zhang Shuming by claiming that he met the fairy. Hearing these comments, Pei Yuan's ears almost grow calluses. Since he posted the photo on Weibo, Pei Yuan's life has become wonderful like fireworks. His fans were eager for him to describe the events of that night in more detail, while those who mocked him felt that the Koreans wanted to capture the golden eagle, but the fairy master magically appeared. Scene was too much like a fantasy novel. Although the golden hawk disappeared from the Zhongshan mausoleum that night, Pei Yuan can't say that a woman rode it away, can he? After all, if a Korean really wanted to catch the hawk, why didn't the government announce it? Although the profile of the hawk is beautiful, those who laugh at him believe that one day they will find the original photo that Pei Yuan photoshopped. Seeing that Pei Yuan was distracted, Zhang Shuming smiled and said, "Well, Pei Yuan, we are classmates. We are willing to believe you. Even a fairy riding on a hawk can't stop us from watching the sunrise of Mount Hua. Let's go." Xia Bingyan looks back at Pei Yuan calmly. She used to think that Pei Yuan was eloquent and always had a good time with him. But why did he choose to tell such a claptrap lie? Pei Yuan feels wronged by this casual look. They start to climb again. Pei can't help but tighten his right hand which is holding the iron lock. At this moment, Zhang Shuming is showing off his knowledge. He talks about a poem by Zhang Qiao, a poet from the Tang dynasty, who cut the Yitian sword out of the Yitian peak. Xia Bingyan's roommates echo him and cheer. Looking up at the steep peak, Pei Yuan purses his lips. Who cut the Yitian peak with the Yitian sword? If it is the fairy who rode the hawk away, Pei Yuan's intuition tells him that she can do it. However, he is just an ordinary college student at the Jinling University of Aeronautics and Astronautics. Even Xia Bingyan doesn't trust him. How can the sky suddenly send a sword light which is powerful enough to cut the mountain to prove that what he said is not a well-made story? Chapter 176. I can't give up. Luodong grits his teeth. He can't breathe because of the heavy backpack on his back. It has just rained and the locks on Mount Hua are getting more and more slippery. Even though Luodong is wearing specially prepared gloves, he still feels that he can't hold the iron locks firmly. He is so tired. His feet feel like they are filled with lead. His hands under the gloves must be swollen. Every step he takes is very difficult. It seems that climbing up the stairs of Mount Hua is endless. However, Lin Luoran is always walking in front of Luodong calmly. She is 2 or 3 steps away from Luodong. Luodong feels like he is being led by a string. He can't give up. Boy, is your backpack heavy? Do you need me to carry it for you? The sudden heavy rain stops most of the tourists. Now that they are close to the top of the mountain, there are fewer tourists around them. Actually, Luodong and Luodong are walking fast. However, there are gains and losses. At such a fast speed, Luodong is starting to feel tired. The young boy's pale face really makes some aunties and sisters feel sorry for him. 5 sisters and 3 aunties have offered to help Luodong with his backpack along the way. Of course, some of them have offered to help Luodong. Lin Luoran, as his real sister, has been despised. Seeing that Lin Luoran is looking back to see if he can walk, Luodong feels that he has regained his manhood. His feet, which are filled with lead, are now filled with strength. The sky seems to be brighter than before. He has been holding on for so long and he can see the top of the mountain. How can he give up now? Aunts, thank you. I can do it. Luodong shakes the sweat off his hair. He doesn't know that his stubborn face is totally irresistible to these elderly women who are full of motherly love. Lin Luoran is walking in front of Luodong. She secretly smiles. He talks to people on the train, buys food by himself, gives out grapes to tourists and says thank you politely. When Lin Luoran first saw Luodong, Luodong didn't even say a word. Even during the first few days, Luodong was still shy. Sure enough, beautiful scenery is the best way to open up a man's heart. Her brother has made a lot of progress. That's great. We'll be there soon. Come on. Lin Luoran turns her head and whispers. The boy even forgets the pain in his palm. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Luodong doesn't know how long he has been walking. It is only 3 o'clock in the morning. Luodong and his sister are the first group of tourists to reach the top of the East Peak. The East Peak of Mount Hua is the best place to enjoy the sunrise. Accommodation is also available on the mountain. 1 bed costs at least hundreds of yuan, which is extremely expensive. Therefore, most tourists live at the foot of the mountain. Then, like Lin Luoran and the others, they start to climb the mountain late at night. At 3 or 4 o'clock, they climb to the top of the mountain and enjoy the sunrise of Mount Hua. However, it has rained for more than an hour today. Many people stop because the mountain road is too slippery. Because of the difference in walking speed, Lin and Lin become the first group of people to reach the top. There were few tourists at the top of the mountain, which was a good thing. Lin Luoran picks a good place and takes out the tent and other things from Luodong's backpack. She sets up the tent and sets up the tea set on the top of the mountain. The tea leaves are from the mother tree, Grandpa Mu, who gets along well with Luodong. The tea set is a gift from Grandpa Mu. Lin Luoran doesn't make tea first. She and Luodong haven't had a good meal since they got off the train. It's time to replenish their energy after climbing to the top of Mount Hua. Lin Luoran bought a folding table from an outdoor goods store and put it in her space. Lin Luodong doesn't ask Luodong to do it again. There are still some salmon from Norway in the space. It hasn't rotted because of the passage of time. It looks like it was just caught from the sea. It smells delicious. After all, this is a public place. Although there are few people here, Lin Luoran doesn't like to be high profile. She chooses to cut the salmon with a knife instead of using spells. There are a lot of grapes, apples, and peaches on the table. Isn't it too little for the main course? Wait here. As soon as Luodong nods, Lin Luoran jumps up to the pine tree above their heads. Soon, she comes down with several bird eggs the size of pigeon eggs in her hands. The eggs are still wet with dew. The frying pan is new. Lin Luoran secretly makes an omelette with spells. The golden color of the omelette can't be seen on the dark top of the mountain. However, the smell of the omelette is tempting. A sumptuous morning was quietly being prepared at the top of the mountain. There was a faint light in the distant horizon. It seems that the sunrise is coming. Luodong guesses that his shoulders are full of blisters. When he takes off his gloves, there are 2 big blisters on his palms. He secretly puts his hands behind his back and doesn't tell Lin Luoran. At the moment, Luodong is watching his sister preparing breakfast on the top of the mountain. The tourists around him are whispering to each other. Luodong suddenly feels that the bitterness is replaced by sweetness. Sister, Lin Luoran hands him an omelette and shushes him. She points to the sky and says, "Look. Look. What do you see?" What you see is that the sky seems to be torn open. The dark blue clouds are surging and a parabola is lit up. Pieces of light seem to fall from the clouds. The red glow is getting brighter and brighter. It is a warm and dazzling color. Luodong squints his eyes. He is sure that he has never seen such a magnificent morning glow. Suddenly, the clouds seemed to move a little, and the sun's radiance finally leaped out of the clouds, casting a very realistic ray of sunlight. Luodong's eyes are wide open. He is dazzled for a moment. At this moment, a strong gust of mountain wind blew over, scattering the clouds in all directions. The mountain peaks and valleys were faintly discernible in the multicolored light, yet constantly changing. With every blink of an eye, a new scenery appeared. Luodong squints his eyes under the sun. He hears Lin Luoran whispering beside him, "If you want to see the beautiful sunrise, you have to trudge through the rainy night. Such a pleasant breakfast should be carried up the mountain by you. Only then will it be especially delicious. Therefore, in life, there should be bitterness before sweetness. Only then will the sweetness be worth recalling. What you have experienced before, there are others who have experienced it. However, they are not as lucky as you. Luodong, if life has lied to you before, it is time to make it up to you in the future." Although everything is arranged, Lin Luoran feels that she is a little clumsy at this moment. She is still not good at talking. Although Luodong is introverted and shy, he is actually more intelligent than his peers. Lin Luoran feels that she is not clear enough, but he understands the meaning of her words. No one could imagine what he had suffered from the hardships and beatings of his childhood. Everyone just let him weave a big cocoon around himself. If he didn't talk about it, no one would mention what had happened before he was adopted by the Lin family. This is a scar. To Luodong's surprise, Lin Luoran doesn't make him feel the pain. Instead, he feels a little sour. Soon, Lin Luoran hears Luodong crying. She turns around. Luodong's eyes are as clear as water in the morning light. His eyes have just been washed by tears. They are like the most transparent crystal in the world. Will Luodong really become different? Lin Luoran is looking forward to it. She has tried her best. The morning light shines through the pine branches, casting a soft golden light on her face. On the steep peak, under the ancient pine trees of Huashan, Lin Luoran looks like a god who has just come to the human world. Even though she is wearing ordinary clothes, tourists are dazzled by the beauty under the pine trees. They are all looking at Lin Luoran. Several students who have been arguing along the way climb up. Their leader says gently, but he is also dissatisfied, "Pei Yuan, I told you it's okay. Look, it's just a shower. It will stop soon. Now we don't even get to see the sunrise." It is Zhang Shuming who is trying to keep a good image. Xia Bingyan's roommate is much sharper. "Pei Yuan, are you crazy about the ferry? If you didn't tell us that the road would be slippery in the rain, we wouldn't have missed the sunrise of Huashan. It's a pity that we may not have the chance to see it again in our lives." One of Zhang Shuming's followers laughs. "Pei Yuan, did you draw that picture on your computer or did someone Photoshop it?" "Haha, don't make fun of Pei Yuan." Zhang Shuming says he doesn't want to make fun of Lin Luoran, but he just laughs. Xia Bingyan can't help but frown. Why is this guy so stubborn? He doesn't deserve any sympathy. Suddenly, Xia Bingyan finds that Pei Yuan is looking at the other side of the mountain. Xia Bingyan follows Pei Yuan's eyes. It is a high mountain. It seems to be the best place to watch the sunrise. There is an old pine tree. Under the shade of the tree, there is a tent. The soft light of the morning sun shines on a woman under the tree. Although it is not an ancient costume and there is no golden eagle, the side of the woman and the line of her neck are exactly the same as the one in the photo of a flying eagle. Xia Bingyan squints her eyes. Everyone follows her line of sight. They see the woman who is like a fairy under the pine tree. She looks so familiar. Pei Yuan, who has been despised along the way, feels tears welling up in his eyes. At this moment, Pei Yuan, who works as a part-time director during the holiday and is a smooth talker in Xia Bingyan's eyes, thinks of an old poem by Pushkin, "If life deceives you, don't be sad. Don't be angry. Restrain yourself when you are not happy. Believe that the happy day will come." Chapter 177. Who is that? Zhang Shuming comes to himself first, but his eyes are wandering. He has been in love with Xia Bingyan for years. For one thing, he can't get her. For another, Xia Bingyan's appearance is the most important factor. Most men are visual creatures. Zhang Shuming is not the only one who is stunned. Xia Bingyan looks cold, but she is actually arrogant because she has been pursued by many boys. Xia Bingyan's temperament is totally different from Lin's. She was proud of her own appearance, so she snorted at Pei Yuan's photo of half of her face, thinking that it was a big lie Pei Yuan made to create a topic of conversation. However, the person in the photo is in reality. Xia Bingyan doesn't know how to feel at this moment. She suddenly feels lucky that the baseball cap she is wearing covers most of her expression. "Pei Yuan, is this the fairy you were talking about?" A henchman comes to himself and asks Pei Yuan with disdain. However, he can't cover his gasp. Xia Bingyan's roommate, who is also a girl, wakes up from the shock. She feels jealous and says sarcastically, "Pei Yuan, don't you know the so-called fairy? Why don't you go and have a chat with her?" No matter how good-tempered Pei Yuan is, he can't help but feel disgusted. Xia Bingyan believes that he is lying because Jiang Ping has been stirring up trouble between them. He just doesn't have enough money to please Jiang Ping. When he and Xia Bingyan were friends, Jiang Ping always satirized him in a roundabout way. She is too much. It would be fine if it was in the past. Really, it would be fine if it was in the past. However, he met the fairy by chance. At this moment, it seemed that Jiang Ping wanted to clear his name. Pei Yuan couldn't help clenching his fists. Strangely, he doesn't think about Xia Bingyan's thoughts. The only thought in his mind is whether it is blasphemy for them to talk about this in front of the fairy. Does she know that he has uploaded the photo to the internet? Pei Yuan starts to regret his vanity. Pei Yuan's face turns pale and then red and then purple. His face is more changeable than the morning glow. In fact, Lin Luoran has already heard their discussion. Lin Luoran now has a photographic memory. Speaking of which, this college student named Pei Yuan is the first person from Huaxia she has seen since she came out of the blood pool in the underground palace. Lin Luoran is in a good mood. Lin Luoran hears that Pei Yuan has posted a picture of her riding Goldie on the internet. It seemed like his classmates were all laughing at him. After hearing a few words, Lin Luoran has a general idea of the situation. Although she didn't take the initiative to spread the photos, she didn't try to avoid it. It wasn't like the photos of her committing murder or arson were being circulated. It was the government's job to guide the public opinion. Why was she so anxious? Besides, Pei Yuan is just a student. If she was his age, she would also want to share the same experience with others to get recognition. Seeing that Pei Yuan is standing there with a red face and hesitating, Lin Luoran is in a good mood and does things as she pleases. Luodong, can I ask a brother to come and have breakfast with you? Luodong has just finished crying. He feels like he has gotten rid of a big burden. Although he doesn't become a different person right away, he is looking forward to making new friends because of Rong's good example. Seeing that Luodong nods, Lin Luoran smiles and says hello to the students. Pei Yuan, it's hard to climb the mountain. Why don't you come here and have a cup of tea? What? Is she really calling Pei Yuan's name? Does that woman really know Pei Yuan? Zhang Shuming is a bit envious. Xia Bingyan feels a bit uncomfortable. Jiang Ping sneers, hey, Pei Yuan, do you really know each other? Did you make an appointment to meet here? Otherwise, why don't I see the legendary Golden Hawk? Xia Bingyan scolds, Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping sticks out her tongue, fine. Beauty Xia is angry. I'll stop talking. Xia Bingyan looks at Pei Yuan. They have known each other for many years. She believes that Pei Yuan will lie for the sake of vanity, but he won't deliberately arrange a chance encounter in front of his classmates. Pei Yuan, however, blushes. He is at a loss of what to do. Lin Luoran came to them from the Zhongshan Mausoleum on the back of a golden hawk and knocked those Koreans down with just a few pointers. This scene is so shocking to Pei that he can't believe that such a beautiful woman can remember his name. Well, she even asked him to have tea with her. Tea on the top of Mount Hua. Pei Yuan wonders if he heard it wrong. Lin Luoran raises her voice again, Pei Yuan. It seems that he is the only one named Pei Yuan. Jiang Ping covers her mouth and smiles, Pei Yuan, your fairy is calling you. Pei Yuan stared at her fiercely, but then he came to himself. He tidied up his clothes and went to the mountain rock seriously. The tent is packed up by Luodong. There is a low table, a folding table, and 3 futons made of straw. Pei Yuan is at a loss. Lin Luoran smiles, sit down. Pei Yuan feels that there is still a gap between him and a woman who flies on a hawk. However, Luodong looks so kind. Pei Yuan touches his backpack. There is only a bag of dried sweet potatoes. He takes it out and gives it to Luodong. Thank you, Brother Pei. Brother, sit here. Luodong arranges the futon for Pei Yuan. Pei sits down carefully. The soft futon feels even more comfortable than a leather sofa. Is it really made of straw? He doesn't dare to look at Lin Luoran directly. He looks at the low table in front of him. Did he see wrongly? Salmon, peaches, apples, peaches, cheese, grapes, and fried eggs. There is even a tea set. Lin Luoran asked him to have tea with her. Did she buy these things on the top of the mountain? Or did she carry them up here? Isn't it a bit too much for a college student like Pei Yuan to have breakfast? At most, he will eat a piece of bread and drink a bottle of yogurt. He has never seen tea for breakfast. Let's go and have a look. Seeing that Pei Yuan really sits down, Jiang Ping can't help but say. Even Xia Bingyan agrees with her suggestion. Xia Bingyan takes the lead and walks over. Lin Luoran says calmly, Pei Yuan, it has been more than a month since we last met. How have you been? Pei Yuan is stunned. Glancing at several classmates coming, he suddenly realizes that the fairy is trying to help him win face. He is touched and scared at the same time. He nods, thank you for your concern. I'm doing well. I just took the liberty to upload your photo. Lin Luoran waves her hand, let's not talk about this. Try the tea I made. Though Lin Luoran has just learned how to make tea, she has a good understanding of the process. She cleans hands, sets up the tea set, washes the tea set, boils the water, washes the tea, makes the tea. Lin Luoran's actions are as smooth as flowing water. She is like a spring breeze. The most important thing is that Lin Luoran's momentum matches the tea ceremony. The feeling of burning incense under the pine trees and walking out of a painting is the same as the tranquility of the tea. What makes Pei Yuan's eyes pop out is that the water that cleans hands seems to appear out of nowhere. From his angle, he can see clearly that there is no charcoal in the stove at all. However, there is fire. Are these all done by immortals? With salmon in his mouth, Pei Yuan almost chokes when he sees Lin Luoran making a gesture of please. The sashimi is so delicious, Lin Luodong smiles, but it is a kind smile. Pei Yuan is no longer nervous. He holds up the tea and takes a sip. The tea is golden red and smooth. It tastes like caramel. The aftertaste is sweet. The most important thing is that the tea smells so good. How can such a small cup of tea have so many flavors? What tea is this? It tastes so good. Pei Yuan let out a long sigh. As he spoke, the tea lingered in his mouth, with the taste of orchids. Before Lin Luoran says anything, Luodong sticks out his tongue and says, Grandpa Mu said it's called Dahongpo, the mother tree of Mount Wui. Do you like it? Lin Luoran smiles and says, if you like it, I can give you some. However, I got it from someone else, so I don't have many left. Don't complain. Though Pei Yuan is a tour guide, he is not familiar with the tea ceremony. He has heard that Dahongpo is famous in Mount Wui, but he doesn't know the value of the mother tree. Since Lin Luoran wants to give him some, he hesitates and says yes. Pei Yuan is about to drink again when he hears Zhang Shuming's voice behind him, Pei Yuan, your fairy friend is so generous. Dahongpo, the mother tree of Mount Wui, is priceless. Occasionally, it can be sold at a sky-high price in the auction house. The rest of the 7 tea trees are only worth a few taels of silver a year. I didn't know until today that it can be given as a gift. Child Zhang, you know a lot. Jiang Ping covers her mouth. Pei Yuan is so pretentious. If he really has such a rich and noble friend, why does he work so hard to be a tour guide? Pei Yuan pauses. He doesn't doubt the authenticity of the tea, but he wonders if it is inappropriate for him to accept such an expensive gift. Lin Luoran pinches a grape. Pei Yuan's classmates are really like villains. They are from the same school. Why do they have to be so cruel and humiliating in public? Lin Luoran doesn't like this kind of behavior. People who are familiar with Lin Luoran know that she rarely hates someone or something. If she really hates someone, Lin Luoran won't bother to save the person's face. Therefore, when Zhang Shuming asks for a cup of tea to have a taste of Dahongpo, Lin Luoran doesn't respond as she usually does. Instead, she raises her eyebrows and says, excuse me, who are you? Well, everyone is stunned. Jiang Ping comes to herself first, hey, is it fake tea? Are you afraid that Mr. Zhang will find out? Lin Luoran glances at Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping's heart jumps. She can't help but shrink to Xia Bingyan. Lin Luoran's eyes are gentle. These students have never seen such an imposing person. Suddenly, Lin Luoran smiles. Not everyone can drink my tea. Pei Yuan, are they your classmates? Chapter 178. Pei Yuan, are they your classmates? Though Lin Luoran asks casually, Pei Yuan feels that he has never been in such a high position in his life. As long as he shakes his head, the fairy will definitely ignore them, and he will be able to vent all the ridicule he has suffered in the past 2 months. As long as he shakes his head. Pei Yuan feels that his heart is clamoring for him to shake his head. It seems to be a long process, but in fact, it only takes 3 seconds. Yes, they are my classmates. I don't know them very well. Lin Luoran doesn't care about the angry faces that Pei Yuan classifies as not familiar with. She almost laughs because of this interesting answer. If Pei Yuan answers no, Lin Luoran doesn't mind slapping these people's faces for him since they have met once before. However, the chance encounter between her and her student in the vast sea of people probably ends here. Pei Yuan doesn't answer no, nor does he answer yes. Lin Luoran thinks that Pei Yuan is a nice guy because of his choice in the face of temptation. Does she like kind kids more? Since he is your classmate, this student. Huh? Lin Luoran looks at Zhang Shuming, who is talking nonsense. Elegant people, like Lu Zheng, whom Lin Luoran knows, have a good upbringing. They will never embarrass others in public. Zhang Shuming is uncomfortable. Seeing that Lin Luoran is looking at him, the discomfort seems to run away. He nods slightly and says, my surname is Zhang. Fairy, you can call me Shuming. Lin Luoran holds back her laughter. Zhang Shuming is a student, but he talks like an adult and tries to flatter Lin Luoran. What, Shuming? I don't know you. Oh, Mr. Zhang, are you the one who said that my tea is fake? Lin Luoran is looking at him with a smile. Zhang Shuming is confused. He can drink poison as if it is a famous tea. How can he say that it is fake? Jiang Ping is not convinced. She says firmly, let us all drink it whether it is real or not. Luodong's face turns red with anger. He doesn't want to compare himself with others, but he knows that Grandpa Mu's family is big. How can he give them fake tea? Seeing that Lin Luoran doesn't stop them, Luodong gets up and gives the teacup to Zhang Shuming, who looks like a smiling tiger and dislikes him very much. The teacup is very small, and the teacup is for 4 people. Luodong stands up and gives the teacup to Zhang Shuming, who he doesn't like at all. Now, Zhang Shuming knows that he has offended Xia Bingyan. He also knows that a bird in the hand is better than many birds in the forest. Besides, he has spent years on Xia Bingyan. He can't give up so easily. Zhang Shuming's eyes twinkle. The only thing he can do now is to expose this woman's true colors and trample Pei Yuan and his accomplices into the mud. Zhang Shuming also knew a little about the way of tea. He took the teacup and carefully examined it. The color of the tea was golden red and translucent. There was no need to drink it. Just by smelling it, he could tell that it was indeed a high-quality Dahong Pao tea. However, it would be too much to say that the mother tree was Dahong Pao. Tea leaves from the mother tree were forbidden to be harvested thousands of years ago. If someone still had the mother tree Dahong Pao tea, he would have kept it in his hand instead of taking it out to serve strangers. The more Zhang Shuming thinks about it, the more he feels that he is right. In fact, he has lost the state of mind needed to taste tea. The tea he tasted was slightly caramel at the first sip. After 2 or 3 steeps, it turned into a faint orchid fragrance. At first, it was mellow and a little astringent. But soon, his cheeks were watery and his mouth was full of sweetness. After 5 or 6 steeps, the tea was still mellow and smooth with a long aftertaste. All these were the characteristics of the top-grade Dahong Pao tea. Anyone who knew a little about the way of tea would know that. However, Zhang Shuming didn't have a good mind. After tasting it for a long time, he said hesitantly, I'm not sure. This was his usual tactic. He didn't say that it was not the Dahong Pao tea. He just said that he was not sure, which meant that he refused to admit that it was true. Lin Luoran bursts into laughter. Zhang is so shameless. Since you don't have the ability, why do you want to do it? Lin Luoran's ruthless words changed Zhang Shuming's expression. When he is about to explain, Xia Bingyan, who has been standing aside without saying a word, suddenly says, "Yes, it smells like this. Can you buy me a cup of tea?" Bingyan, you. Jiang Ping is confused. Isn't her friend doing this to make the enemy proud? As for Zhang Shuming, he feels that his fragile heart is broken. Xia Bingyan doesn't pay attention to them. She doesn't want to hide anymore. She takes off her baseball cap. Her ponytail is not very stunning, but she is a girl who is worth a second look. "Can you buy me a cup of tea?" she asks again. Her tone is cold, but it is formal. Pei Yuan is a little embarrassed. "This is my good friend, Xia Bingyan." Lin Luoran is very polite. She even takes out a cushion from her school bag and asks Xia Bingyan to sit down. Except for Pei Yuan, the other three people under the mattress are all good-looking. Even if they just sit there, they will add a special view to Mount Hua, not to mention tasting tea. She doesn't have enough cups. She is too shy to use Pei Yuan's cup. She doesn't dare to use Lin Luoran's cup. In the end, she borrows Luodong's cup. Holding the purple-brown cup, Xia Bingyan takes a sip. She closes her eyes to savor the taste for a while. When she opens her eyes, she only says two words, "rock flavor." She had never thought that in a place like Mount Hua, only by tasting Dahong Pao would one be able to taste the true charm of the rock tea. Xia Bingyan's eyes turn dark. Since Pei Yuan's friend has such a powerful background, why did he choose her? It's true. Xia Bingyan has her own pride. Though Xia Bingyan is not as beautiful as Lin Luoran, she won't lie. Jiang Ping stomps her feet. Zhang Shuming feels embarrassed. "Bingyan, do you want to confirm it?" Xia Bingyan raises her head. "Zhang Shuming, have you ever drunk Dahongpo tea from the parent tree?" Of course, Zhang Shuming hasn't drunk it. He blushes. "I have drunk it once at my grandpa's place. It feels exactly the same." "No, this is the real Dahongpo tea. It's even better. It's the real Dahongpo tea." When Xia Bingyan mentions Grandpa, the old headmaster of Nanhang University, Zhang Shuming can't help but say that he wants to go down the mountain. He thought that someone would ask him to stay, but none of the four people said a single word to make him stay. Zhang Shuming runs away. His henchman can't stay any longer. Jiang Ping is at a loss. Xia Bingyan bites her lips. "Jiang Ping, you should go back. I was wrong about you." Xia Bingyan is a smart girl. She used to think that Jiang Ping didn't think highly of Pei Yuan. However, during this trip to Mount Hua, she has seen everything. It is obvious that Jiang Ping and Zhang Shuming have made a deal in private. She can accept her friend's shortcomings, but she can't accept the fact that Lin Luoran has made her own decisions behind her back. Jiang Ping grits her teeth and follows Zhang Shuming. The people she doesn't like are all gone. Lin Luoran feels that the air is much fresher. She puts away the tea set and takes out the fruit wine she brewed. She fills everyone's cup and says in a low voice, "It's interesting to see a girl throwing a tantrum." Lin Luoran finally realizes that Xia Bingyan doesn't trust Pei Yuan. She is jealous. However, both of them are ignorant, which makes the situation worse. Hearing Lin Luoran's words, Xia Bingyan blushes. She bites her lips and asks, "Is the photo taken by Pei Yuan real?" Lin Luoran has a headache. Why are girls nowadays so stubborn? Staring at Lin Luoran, Xia Bingyan feels inferior. However, she doesn't know why she wants to take a gamble. Lin Luoran doesn't know what she wants. Seeing that Lin doesn't answer for a long time, Xia Bingyan picks up the glass and drinks it up. She drinks so fast that she is almost in tears. Pei Yuan wants to say something but he doesn't know how to explain. Looking at Xia Bingyan's stubborn face, Pei Yuan feels dull. When Xia Bingyan is about to give up, Lin Luoran stands up and lowers her head. If you believe it, then it's real. If you don't, then it's fake. What? What kind of answer is this? Xia Bingyan looks back at Pei Yuan. When they look at each other, Pei feels his heart is beating fast. Lin Luodong is about to say something but Lin Luoran covers his mouth. The two of them disappear into the crowd. They don't even take the table away. The sun is rising higher and higher. Floating clouds are floating above the pine branches. The clouds are changing and the tourists are weaving. Under the pine branches, the two of them don't feel the outside world. They are getting closer and closer to each other. When the two of them come back to their senses, the two of them are gone. There are only tea and food left. The futon under them shows that all of this has happened. There is a small bag of tea on the table with a note under it. Hey, Pei, remember to return my futon when you are in love. Pei Yuan smiles at first and then he becomes nervous. Is she really? Xia Bingyan blinks her eyelashes. I believe you. Lin Luodong, who is hiding on a big pine tree on the opposite peak, says, Sister, adults are so strange. What's so interesting about two eyeballs? How can they stare at their faces for such a long time? Lin Luoran laughs. She has a failed first love. However, she has to admit that it is a beautiful and pure feeling. Boys and girls don't know how to express their jealousy or anger. Lin Luoran gives the boat a little push. She can see the two of them looking at each other. What a yearning youth. Chapter 179. In the next few days, Lin Luoran and Luodong travel around Mount Hua. It is not only limited to Mount Hua, but also deep into the Qinling Mountains. For Lin Luoran, the uninhabited and overgrown place is a more comfortable place. At night, they find an open space in the mountains to set up camp. Most of the food they eat is local. In summer, no matter where they are, there are always mushrooms and black fungus. Luodong has tasted all kinds of mushroom soup. Of course, Lin Luoran has tasted all kinds of bird eggs. Lin Luoran usually only takes 5 out of 10 bird eggs and leaves some for the birds to reproduce. During the day, Lin Luoran takes Luodong around the mountains to get to know all kinds of animals and plants. Lin Luoran and Luodong take pictures of some rare plants with their cameras. Lin Luoran and Luodong also take pictures of a beautiful spring, a rugged rock, or a naughty monkey. From this point of view, the development of science and technology is actually very good. In addition, Lin Luoran also finds wild ginseng and ganoderma in the mountains. The former seems to be good because it is hundreds of years old. Lin Luoran throws it to the ginseng in the space as a companion. The latter is ordinary. However, ganoderma is so famous that Lin Luoran transplants it to the space just in case. During the day, Lin Luoran chooses a cliff with a suitable terrain and goes to the top of the mountain to make a climbing rope. She makes tea at the top of the mountain and waits for Luodong to climb up. Of course, Luodong always needs Lin Luoran's help in the beginning. After a few days of climbing, Luodong falls in love with this sport. The two of them go all the way to Mount Wui in Fujian. Lin Luoran comes here with bad intentions. It is already dark, but they still hide in the Jiulong Nest scenic area. Luodong rolls his eyes and finally realizes what his sister wants to do. Well, is it a good idea to be a thief? Lin Luoran steals a few twigs from the mother tree, Dahongpo. The boy is struggling in his mind. How could a cliff resist the imperial wind technique? That's why, if a cultivator didn't do anything good, then his destructive power would be 100 times greater than that of an ordinary person. Of course, Lin Luoran doesn't break the branches of the mother tree for nothing. Though the government has banned the harvesting of these hundreds of years old tea trees, Lin Luoran takes them without asking. She doesn't want to make some tea addicts sad if they lose their inheritance in the near future. Therefore, Lin Luoran gives each of them a ball of pure wood reiki. Speaking of which, it's not a small price to get these branches. Lin Luoran had planned to collect some famous tea leaves and plant them in her space. However, after the trip to Wui Mountain, she has to stop her plan. First of all, Luodong is about to go back to school. She can't keep playing with him. Second of all, when Guanjing, whom she hasn't seen for more than 3 years, calls her for the first time and asks her to meet him in the city. When Guanjing seems to be very busy these years. It seems that he has been on missions abroad. However, when he comes back, he always cares about the Lin family. At least, Lin Luoran has heard from her mother several times that, why doesn't Luodong come? Putting aside Mrs. Lin's ulterior motives, Lin Luoran has a good impression of her friend. Several hours later, Lin Luoran and Luodong return to the city with Luodong, who has not had enough fun. Since Luodong is about to go back to school, Mrs. Lin has cleaned up the house in the city and moved in. Mr. Lin and Baojia stay in the mountain to cultivate. Goldie also needs to relax in Mount Qingcheng. When Guanjing is waiting for her in the Lin's house in the city. When Luoran arrives, it is past 3 in the afternoon. Mrs. Lin is chatting with Wen Guanjing in the living room. Seeing that Luodong is back, Mrs. Lin sighs that Luodong has grown up. She stops Luodong and says that Luodong has lost weight and become darker. Mom, what are you talking about? This is what a man should be. Luodong shows off his muscles, which are the result of climbing the mountain. Mrs. Lin is shocked by the sudden change of Luodong. Luodong doesn't give her any time to accept it. He says, Mom, I dug some flowers for you and we took a lot of photos. Let's go upstairs and I'll show them to you. Then, Luodong pulls Mrs. Lin away. He turns around and winks at Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran almost spits out the tea in her mouth. She and Wen Guanjing are not like Pei Yuan and Xia Bingyan. How can this little boy come up with this idea? In the living room, Wen Guanjing and Lin Luoran haven't seen each other for a long time. Wen Guanjing coughs and says, Sister Lin. No, Master Lin, congratulations on laying foundation. Lin Luoran makes a gesture of begging, forget it. I'd rather you call me Sister Lin. She has laid foundation and she can't call Wen Guanjing brother anymore. Otherwise, people will think that Wen Guanjing doesn't know what's good for him, which will make him feel embarrassed. Yes, Sister Lin. Wen Guanjing accepts Lin Luoran's advice. He can tell that Lin Luoran's attitude makes him feel comfortable. After all, they have been to the secret land together. It is good that they are not strangers. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and takes out the universal sack. The sack has been in the space all the time. It contains one of the 12 broken jades that can open the secret land. It is this treasure that teleports her out at the last moment of the secret land's closing and creates a wonderful journey of drifting along the sea. Lin Luoran doesn't have to give it back to Qin Yun because she doesn't like the so-called Minister Chen. However, Wen Guanjing only takes the piece of jade and explains, this belongs to the Wen family. I can't make the decision. As for the universal sack and the jade map, they are kept as souvenirs for the cultivators who attend the secret land. Sister Lin, you can keep them. I heard that you have been abroad these years. Why didn't you take a good rest when you came back? Why did you come to our city? Actually, Lin Luoran means that Wen Guanjing should focus on his cultivation. Wen Guanjing has made no progress in cultivation since they parted 3 years ago. That is strange. Logically speaking, Wen Guanjing should have a good Taoist root since he is valued by the head of the Wen family and Minister Chen and he is the most powerful cultivator among the young generation. Wen Guanjing is excited and mysterious when he talks about what happened abroad. Sister Lin, you will never know what I have found in the past few years. Lin Luoran looks at Wen Guanjing and sees him fumbling in the universal sack. Lin Luoran is anxious, but Wen Guanjing takes out a laptop. Well, if there is something special about this laptop, it must be a new model of IBM. A gift for me? Wen Guanjing nods and then shakes his head, yes, but not a laptop. He turns on the laptop and asks anxiously, Sister Lin, have you seen the movie, God is Crazy Too? Lin Luoran has seen such a classic movie when she was in college. It is so special that she can even remember the plot clearly. The one about the Bushman? The movie was made in the 1980s. It is an interesting story about the Bushmen living in the desert of Africa who encounter modern civilization. Although they were only 600 kilometers away from the modern city, these Bushmen knew nothing about modern civilization. They dug tree roots to squeeze juice, collected dew from the leaves in the morning to quench their thirst, and relied on hunting to survive. There were no conflicts or disputes. This was a simple and happy tribe. Until one day, a Coke bottle fell from a plane in the middle of the sky, and everything slowly changed. The Bushman language in the movie, which Lin Luoran doesn't understand, is the main reason why she remembers it. However, what does it have to do with Wen Guanjing's gift? The laptop is turned on soon. Lin Luoran cranes her neck and looks at the screen. It is a picture of an African in the desert. Behind the African, there are some colorful murals carved on the rocks. The murals are colorful and striking. However, why does it look so familiar? Lin Luoran tries hard to recall. She finally remembers where she has seen this picture. Isn't this the stills of the actor who predicts the future by painting murals in the desert in the season of the American TV series, Heroes? Wen Guanjing is not a hot-tempered person. Does he ask her to come back from Fujian just to see the stills? Lin Luoran takes a closer look and finds that Wen Guanjing's hand holding the mouse is shaking. This is just a foreshadowing. Sister Lin, do you know that besides being good at hunting and tracking, the Bushmen are also good at using murals to record history? This picture was taken in the Kalahari Desert in Africa, when Guanjing opens an encrypted file. Lin Luoran glances at it casually and then her pupils contract. This is it? When Guanjing clicks on the files one by one. Every picture is about the same scene. Only a few differences can tell that they are telling the same story. Different pictures, different angles, and different evidence. Lin Luoran doesn't say anything. She looks even more serious than Wen Guanjing. There are only 7 or 8 pictures. Lin Luoran finishes looking at them quickly. Lin Luoran looks at Wen Guanjing, trying to get him to deny it. However, Wen Guanjing nods solemnly. Senior sister, this is the most precious thing that I have gained from my years abroad. The Bushmen who can paint, they really gave me a big surprise. Lin Luoran breathes a sigh of relief. It is not a surprise for her, but it is a big surprise. The same scene can be faked if it happens once. But what does it mean when it is found in the African continent? Would it be what they had been expecting? Chapter 180. What? To Africa? Baojia stares at Lin Luoran suspiciously. I mean, you just came back. That's why I want to invite you. Of course, I will think of my sister Baojia when I have something good to do. Lin Luoran jokes, trying to lighten the topic. Baojia's face is very thin. She is totally a cultivation maniac. It seems that it is a good idea to take her to see the African grassland. Baojia raises her head and says, "You are a good girl." But Luodong is starting school. She still wants to say something, but Lin Luoran tells her, Luodong is starting school. Mr. and Mrs. Lin will go back to the city to take care of him. Don't you feel bored staying in the villa alone? Baojia says, Goldie is with me. Goldie is more comfortable in the mountain without you. Go ahead. To prove Lin Luoran's words, Ao Jiaojin tilts its head, looks at Lin Luoran and chirps a few times. With Goldie's cooperation and Lin Luoran acting like a little girl, Baojia finally agrees to go on a trip. The plane tickets are booked quickly. Except for Wen Guanjing, none of them have been to Africa. Everyone is curious about this mysterious land. The photo of Wen Guanjing comes from a place called Namibia in the Kalahari Desert. As soon as they get out of the airport, Baojia feels hot and dry, which is unique to Africa. Lin Luoran throws a water mask on her face, and she immediately feels much better. They don't leave for their destination right away. According to Wen Guanjing, food, water and necessary medicine are much more useful than money in the Bushman tribe. The three of them buy a lot of things. Lin Luoran has the space, so the universal sack finally belongs to Baojia. Seeing that Baojia doesn't stop until the space is full, Lin Luoran suspects that Baojia is going to stay in the tribe for a month or two. Wen Guanjing also arranges a guide for them. The guide is from the Bushman tribe and has gradually integrated into the modern society. He can speak English and Bushman language, so he is a good translator. A weather-beaten jeep traversed through the sand. As they went deeper into the Kalahari Desert, the trees were sparse, and the vegetation on the ground was scattered in twos and threes. It was similar to the grassy African savanna in the animal world that they had watched since they were young, but they were fundamentally different. Africa, which was rich in minerals, was not full of gold. The air conditioner of the shabby jeep has been broken for a long time. Lin Luoran doesn't need to open the window. With her personal ability, she is not afraid of heat and cold. However, Baojia is soaked in sweat in less than 3 minutes. Her face is dripping with sweat as if she has just been soaked in sweat. Only by opening the car window to allow the air to circulate, the sand and dust brought up by the car wheels quickly blew into his face, sticking to his sweaty cheeks and refusing to leave, forming a black mess. Lin Luoran is refreshed and there is no dust on her body. Baojia says angrily, "This is so worrying. When can I be like you?" Lin Luoran glances at her. The water Reiki and wood Reiki in her body are loosening. As long as she can freely control the Reiki in her body, she will have officially stepped into the early stage of training Qi. Soon, as long as you can learn Taoism, you will be able to avoid the sand and dust. Baojia glares at her. Her face is full of sand. She doesn't want to look at the scenery outside the car window anymore. Anyway, she will stay in the desert for a long time. She will have plenty of opportunities to enjoy the scenery. Wen Guanjing is sitting in the passenger seat. He turns around and says, "You have reached the early stage of training Qi in only 3 years. You are very talented." Others may not know, but he knows that it took Li Shi 7 or 8 years to reach the middle stage of training Qi with the single Taoist route. Therefore, Lin Luoran's friend has reached the early stage of training Qi in only 3 years, which should be enough to make many people jealous. Lin Luoran looks out of the window and says, "Talent is important, but she also needs to work hard." Baojia really works hard on her cultivation. During the 3 years when Lin Luoran was trapped in the blood pool in the underground palace, there was no help from the Lin family. Without the help of elixirs and spirit stones, Baojia can make such progress. It can be seen that she is very diligent. The car has been driving in the desert for 7 or 8 hours. There is only a short break during lunch. When Guanjing and the local guide, Barney, take turns driving. Even so, Baojia almost vomits due to the jolting. Lin Luoran feels sorry. She transmits some wood Reiki into Baojia's body. The wood Reiki in Baojia's body resonates with it. Baojia feels refreshed and relaxed. Led by the guide, Lin Luoran and the other two arrive at a small tribe of Bushmen. Nowadays, there are less than 10,000 Bushmen in the Kalahari Desert. Only a small part of them still lives in the desert. Each small group has about 20 people. The tribe that Lin Luoran and the others are going to has more than 100 people. They park the car. There are only a few dead trees and some weeds. They are surrounded by yellow sand. It is hard to imagine that there are people living in the depths of the desert. Barney leads the way, and Lin Luoran and the other two follow him. They go to the place where there is fire and people's voices. It should be the tribe of Bushmen they are looking for. Lin Luoran knows that some tribes in Africa are very poor, but it is hard to imagine that they can be so poor without seeing it. The typical example is the Bushmen, who live far away from modern civilization. For example, what Lin Luoran is seeing right now. Along the way, there were only a few campfires and some low-thatched shacks. Both men and women use straw ropes to cover their important parts. The children were all naked, and the women were also bare-chested. The bushmen, who are about 1.5 meters tall, are waiting with spears. It turns out that they have heard the sound of the jeep from far away. Now it is sunset, and the sound of the jeep is a signal of danger for the alert bushmen. Fortunately, Wen Guanjing brought a guide with him. Otherwise, what awaits them is not the information about the murals, but a conflict. After listening to Barney's words, these people don't point their spears at them anymore. However, they don't let their guard down either. They look at Lin Luoran alertly, especially Lin Luoran. Bushmen are born to be sensitive to danger. Lin Luoran comes from the desert, but she is clean. Although she is smiling, they feel that she will be very scary when she is angry. Barney looks relaxed. He turns around and says to Lin Luoran, Baojia, and Lin Luoran that the only thing they need to do now is to visit the chief. The chief is the leader of the tribe. Lin Luoran follows Barney. When they arrive at the chief's house, she finds that it is just a slightly bigger thatched shed. It doesn't have the treatment that a chief should enjoy. A group of bushmen, men and women, old and young, are talking and laughing around the fire. Although they are not wearing clothes, Lin Luoran doesn't know why the smiles on their faces are sincere and touching, regardless of their skin color or race. The chief is a very young bushman, about 1.6 meters tall. He is considered strong in the tribe. The gifts are very small in Lin Luoran's eyes. 5 pounds of beef, 1 pound of salt, and several large bottles of purified water. The chief is happy to see the 5 pounds of beef. However, when he sees the bottles of water, all the people around the campfire come to him. Even the hunters who were hostile to Lin Luoran and Baojia smile for the first time. I didn't know that water is so precious, Baojia says in a low voice. Lin Luoran shakes her head, keep watching. Lin Luoran thinks of the movie, God's Crazy too. Maybe they care more than clean drinking water. Sure enough, Barney says in English, they all like these bottles. They say that they can collect drinking water and that we are the distinguished guests of the Bushmen. Lin Luoran, Wen Guanjing, and Lin Luoran can understand English. Baojia smacks her lips. There are many candies in her universal sack. Baojia is born to be close to people. Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing avoid people and go to talk to the chief. Baojia stays by the fire and communicates with a group of Bushman women and children with gestures. Behind the shack, Wen Guanjing takes out a printed photo from his backpack and hands it to the young chief. The chief is shocked by the modern technology. He takes over the photo and looks at it. Barney conveys Lin Luoran's request to him, and then the chief starts to look at the content of the photo. Maybe because of the light, he can't see anything for a long time. Lin Luoran takes out a small flashlight. The young chief is amazed by all the modern things. It seems that almost no one has ever been to this tribe. Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing wait patiently for the chief to finish studying the glowing stick. After Lin Luoran promises to give him the flashlight, the chief starts to look at the photo seriously. Ah! He screams with his eyes wide open. Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing look at each other and see the joy on each other's faces. Judging from the chief's expression, it is clear that he knows the mural in the photo. Is this trip going so smoothly? Barney asks him, where is this place? After asking a few times, the tribal chief's eyes widened. He cried out in fear a few times and fainted. Fainting? What is going on? Lin Luoran frowns. How can a mere mural make a man faint? Wen Guanjing smiles bitterly, yes. Chapter 181. We can save him, don't worry, don't worry. Barney quickly waved his hand. The Bushman's arrows were coated with poisonous sap, and they could kill animals like antelopes and bison in one shot. Barney was afraid that if there was a conflict, the 4 of them would die here. A Bushman looks at the 4 of them vigilantly. Soon, other people come to carry the sheik away and drive the 4 of them away from their camp. Although 3 of the 4 are cultivators, Lin Luoran can't bear to hurt these poor people who are in rags. Even though Wen Guanjing is nicknamed St. and is called Butcher by some foreign cultivators, he is not such a vicious person. The sheik has fainted and the bushmen don't let them get close to him. The only thing they can do now is to wait for the sheik to wake up and then ask him about the murals. The bushmen keep fire all night to drive away the beasts. Besides, the temperature difference between the day and night in the desert is quite big. Without fire, people will feel cold. Barney was a very qualified and conscientious guide. After the 4 of them returned to the jeep, Barney went to gather a lot of firewood and piled it up beside the jeep. It seemed like they would have no problem getting through the night. Lin Luoran watches Barney fiddling with the firewood. She suddenly remembers that they have bought everything except matches and lighters. Cultivators don't need to bring things like that. However, Barney is here, so they can't use spells. Baojia spreads her hands and gloats. She hasn't learned how to cast spells anyway. It is so cool to see that the 2 of them can't use their abilities. Haha. However, Barney's behavior makes Lin Luoran feel that the money Wen Guanjing paid is worth it. The 3 cultivators are helpless. Barney, who is dark and thin, picks up a piece of wood with a hole in it. He finds some soft and dry withered grass and puts it in the hole. Then he picks up a thinner stick and starts to drill wood to make fire, in front of Lin Luoran. Is this real? Baojia secretly pinches the back of her hand. This is a technical work. She needs to watch it carefully. Barney seemed to be an expert. He spun the wooden stick in his hand quickly and rhythmically, and the friction soon produced a high temperature. Under Barney's patience, smoke gradually came out of the tree hole. Barney screamed twice, and finally, the smoke became thicker. Barney became more cautious, and he placed a few leaves on the withered grass. He bent down and blew on it a few times. Suddenly, a flame sprang up from the smoke. The fire was finally ready. In Barney's eyes, it seemed very normal to drill wood to start a fire without relying on external forces. Some of the beef they bought is in the trunk. They take it out and skewer it on twigs. They are going to have roast beef tonight. The fire is burning slowly. It seems that adding firewood is also a technical work. If the fire is too small, it can't drive away the cold, and if it is too big, the firewood will run out. When the beef gradually turns golden and smells delicious, Lin Luoran and Baojia finally understand why Barney knows this. Barney was also a bushman, but he belonged to a tribe near the edge of a big city. Later, the government planned to designate the area where they used to hunt and migrate as a protected area. The bushmen, who were forbidden from hunting, did not know how to farm, so they had no choice but to disperse. Barney's parents found a small job in the city, and they lived a hard life. They were one of the rare open-minded bushmen, and they sent Barney to school. Although he only finished middle school, Barney was now working as a cashier. Although he was not very successful, he was still very different from the ordinary bushman. However, Barney still remembers the survival skills of the bushmen, such as drilling wood to make fire. Fortunately, he can speak English. Thanks to him, Lin Luoran and Baojia have an easy time on this trip. Lin Luoran and Baojia don't like the beef with salt, but Barney is enjoying it. After the beef, the 2 men leave the jeep to Lin Luoran and Baojia. They are going to spend the night by the fire. The jeep is full of dust. Although Baojia is not a spoiled girl, she has never suffered like this since she was a child. Besides, the mosquitoes keep staring at her when they smell the fresh blood, which is very annoying for her. Lin Luoran closes her eyes to rest in the front seat of the jeep. Baojia occupies the back seat. Hearing the sound of swatting mosquitoes, Lin Luoran is about to cast a cleaning spell on Baojia when she hears Baojia saying in a hoarse voice, "Luoran, I used to think that I had a hard life because I never saw my parents. When I grew up, I had to bring trouble to you and my grandpa. Today, I saw a child who was thirsty and could only chew the roots of plants. Do you think that is a hard life for us?" Baojia's words make Lin Luoran speechless. Lin Luoran still remembers that when she first met Baojia, she was just a girl from the capital. Baojia was always cold and unapproachable. Materially, she was much better than girls from small places like Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran, but what about spirituality? Some people always emphasize that spirituality is the most important thing, but it is only when one can survive, right? For example, in places like Africa, the Bushmen are starving and have no clothes to cover their bodies. Why can they hear their laughter when they first enter the camp? Is this the reason for satisfaction? The more one gets, the more powerful his desire will be. Compared with hard cultivation, Lin Luoran prefers this kind of life. She sighed, and decided not to trouble herself with these philosophical questions of merit. Soon, she sits in the front seat and meditates. There is fire reiki everywhere in the desert. Wen Guanjing should like it. Baojia stares at the window and counts the mosquitoes. She has the nature of water and wood, so she can't cultivate in such an environment. She can't fall asleep either. Seeing that Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing are both meditating, she opens the door of the car quietly and wants to get off for some fresh air. Lin Luoran has left her spiritual mind to warn Baojia. She can save Baojia at any time if she is in danger, so she doesn't pay much attention to it. Baojia is sitting on the sand dune in a daze. Suddenly, she makes a sound of surprise and runs to the other side of the sand dune. After a few steps, she disappears in the yellow sand. Lin Luoran suddenly loses the sense of Baojia. She opens her eyes and gets out of the car. She runs to the sand dune. It is windy at night. Sand is flying all over the desert. Night owls are screaming. However, Baojia is nowhere to be found in the endless sand dunes. So fast. Hearing Baojia's voice, she ran out. With her current speed, Baojia, a living person, disappeared under her eyes in just a few seconds. Lin Luoran is about to jump into the sand dune, but her arm is grabbed by a hand. Wen Guanjing is surprised. Seeing that Lin Luoran is about to go into the sand dune, he stops her and says, "Sister Lin, there is something wrong with the sand dune. We may not be able to save her if we go in rashly." Lin Luoran is also worried. She is woken up by Wen Guanjing. She knows that being impatient will only make things worse. Barney was woken up by the noise of the two men's discussion by the fire. Hearing that one of his employers is missing, Barney is very nervous. He takes this kind of thing seriously. She was taken away by the sand. Barney seems to think of something and his face is a bit unnatural. Under Lin Luoran's repeated questioning, he finally tells her about a curse among the Bushmen, which is related to the sandstorm demon. However, he was too young to remember it when he left the tribe. "Chief, find the chief," Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing say at the same time. They both think of the chief's expression when he saw the photo. It seems that he fainted out of fear. There must be a connection between the two. Baojia's disappearance makes Lin Luoran panic. She has no time to care about the feelings of her international friends. She sneaks into the camp of the Bushmen and picks up the young chief, who is still in a coma, as if she were grabbing a chicken. In fact, he is just frightened. Lin Luoran doesn't need any healing spell. Barney pours some cold water into his mouth. After a while, the chief chokes and wakes up. With the help of the fire, the chief sees Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing standing in front of him. It seems that he is still in shock. He points at Wen Guanjing's backpack and says something while trembling. The photo was taken from Wen Guanjing's backpack. After Barney translated with some difficulty, it turned out that the chieftain was repeating the same thing over and over again, the curse of the demons. That's impossible. That's clearly the mural he saw in the underground palace of the secret realm. The colorful halo and the cultivators that constantly entered the halo. This mural is related to the mystery of the disappearance of nascent soul cultivators. How could it be the evil devil's curse? Lin Luoran doesn't want to push the chief. She frowns and says to Wen Guanjing, "I suspect that the disappearance of Baojia, the murals, and the curse of the demon may be related. Where did you take the photo? Let's go and find it ourselves. When Guanjing says awkwardly, it was taken by an experienced field worker. He couldn't tell the direction in the desert. It's said that he lost half of his life, but he can't find this place anymore. To be honest, before this, I have searched this area under the pretext of a mission, but I couldn't find the location of these murals. Except for the owner of this land, these bushmen, I can't think of anyone else who can help us find this place. Lin Luoran is stunned. She was so distracted when she saw the photo that she didn't ask where it came from. It is unreasonable for her to blame Wen Guanjing for the photo. Looking at the frightened chief who is warming himself by the fire, Lin Luoran has to persuade him to help them after they find the murals. The curse of the demon? It doesn't sound good. Lin Luoran hopes that Baojia will be fine. Otherwise, she will feel guilty for the rest of her life. Chapter 182. Looking for someone in the desert. The young bushman chief hesitates. He doesn't want to say yes at all. If Lin Luoran wants to take the chief with her, she must take Barney with her as an interpreter. Lin Luoran can tell that the former is reluctant and the latter is in a dilemma. For the sake of Baojia's safety, Lin Luoran doesn't hesitate at all. She moves her 5 fingers slightly and a golden light is condensed. She slashes the ground. The dry land cracks as if it is split by a sharp knife. The crack is 7 or 8 meters deep. Lin Luoran is controlling it on purpose, but it scares the chief and Barney even more. The chief kowtows to the sky, trembling. He agrees to Lin Luoran's request with an expression that he is ready to die for a righteous cause. However, he makes a very simple request: don't hurt other people in his tribe. Lin Luoran is stunned. In fact, she wants to show them that she is not totally defenseless. However, the chief obviously misunderstands her words as a threat. If it weren't for the fact that she really can't laugh, she might really be amused. Lin Luoran doesn't explain anything since they have different paths to the same destination. On the contrary, when Guanjing plays the role of a good cop. He holds Barney's hand and promises him a lot of benefits. The skinny bushman is still frightened, but he can't help swallowing hard. The mixture of fear and temptation could sometimes be a wonderful emotion. When Guanjing takes out the photo again. This time, the chief doesn't faint. However, through Barney's interpretation, Lin Luoran gets bad news. According to the legend of the Bushman, this mural of a cultivator flying into the halo first appeared 1,000 years ago. Many Bushmen had seen it. What scared the chief was that even if these Bushmen managed to walk out of the desert and tell the people about the scene in the mural, they would soon die a violent death, and the way they died was too horrible to look at. These words add a little psychological pressure to Lin Luoran. If it were before, she would turn her nose up at the power of curses. However, after becoming a cultivator, she understands that there are too many mysterious powers hidden in this ordinary world. Some of them can't be explained in a few words. However, what makes Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing at a loss is not the curse, but the fact that according to the chief, the rock with the mural appears in different places every time. Even though they know the general direction, it is too difficult to find a rock with the same shape in the vast desert. The chieftain pauses here. Maybe he is afraid that the 2 demons will kill him mercilessly if he tells them everything he knows. This seemingly innocent young bushman chieftain keeps some information to himself. Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing don't expect that he dares to keep something from them, so they don't ask further. Lin Luoran clenches her fists unconsciously. She was the one who pestered Baojia to come here. She must be found. This was a semi-desert land filled with sand and gravel. 4 figures were moving forward with difficulty under a beam of faintly discernible light. The dust is so heavy that the light from the flashlight is weak in this weather. It is just enough to lead the way for Barney and the sheik. The name of the young sheik is Yaki. Lin Luoran doesn't ask him which word it is. In Yaki's mind, she is probably the same as the devil. He talks to Barney and ignores Lin Luoran. We've been walking for almost 2 hours. Let's stop and drink some water. Lin Luoran suggests, which makes Barney smile. Lin Luoran takes out 4 bottles of water and gives one to each of them. She and Wen Guanjing have prepared enough food and water, so they drink up almost half of the bottle. Barney and Yaki, on the other hand, only take a few sips and hide the rest of the water with the bottles because they know the Bushmen well about the desert. Not far away, there is a slight noise. A spark flies out from Wen Guanjing's hand and the small rock explodes. It turns out that it is just a desert lizard. Lin Luoran closes her eyes and tries to release her spiritual mind. This desert is really strange. The deeper she goes, the more her spiritual mind is suppressed. Usually, she can sense a few miles, but now, she can only sense less than a kilometer. Wen Guanjing is still in the level of training qi, so he can't compare with Lin Luoran, who has a strange ocean of consciousness. Every time Lin Luoran walks forward, she will use her spiritual mind to check the surroundings. On one hand, she is in case of danger, and on the other hand, she doesn't want to miss Baojia. Unfortunately, she finds nothing. This time is no exception. She still finds nothing. Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing don't care about the lizard behind the rock. Yaki catches the lizard and hangs it on his waist after killing it. Yaki seems to be more confident when he faces them again. Barney explains. With this 2-foot-long lizard as food, he is confident that he can get out of the desert even if Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing leave Yaki behind. Faced with the distrust of their teammates, Lin Luoran have no choice but to continue the journey. The wind and sand cover all the footprints of the creatures. The 4 of them walk for more than 2 hours. The sky is getting brighter. Unexpectedly, a night had already passed. It is still cool in the desert in the morning. They are going to search for more places in the cool weather. Last night, they searched many places and saw at least 100 rock murals. Almost all the places with rocks have the life records of the Bushmen. According to Yaki, the murals are like the Bushmen's diaries, recording what happened in the past. Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing both suspect that when cultivators fly into the circle of light, they can see the desert behind them. This is the secret of the cultivation world for thousands of years. Lin Luoran can't believe that she and Wen Guanjing can find it so easily. She tries to control her thoughts. After walking for a whole night, Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing feel hungry. Only Barney and Yaki are walking leisurely, but they are full of energy. If they were not cultivators, they would not be as energetic as the 2 Bushmen. They have the jerky bought by Wen Guanjing for breakfast. They feel it is too dry to swallow, so they have to drink a lot of water. Yaki, on the other hand, looks like he is eating the most delicious food. After breakfast, the 4 of them continue their journey. Before the sun is at its hottest, they find a ruin. Although the broken rocks had long been deformed by the sandstorm, the places that were not buried by the yellow sand could clearly be seen. There was a square encirclement of stone bricks on the ground. In addition to the stone pillars that were in a mess, one could not help but wonder if this was a man-made building in the past. The sun is rising higher and higher. Barney and Yaki, who were alive and kicking in the morning, are hiding in the shade of the broken wall and recovering their strength. Lin Luoran decides to check this place carefully. Just like they did in the underground palace, Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing check around the ruin carefully. To their disappointment, they find nothing. Hiding in the shade, Barney looks at the 2 Easterners and thinks about their gains and losses. The 2 Easterners are not only rich but also powerful. He is a little worried about whether he can get the reward when he goes back. Yaki is muttering to himself. He is complaining that Barney has brought him a disaster. Barney ignores him and picks up a rock from the ground. Looking at the hole on the rock, Barney puts the rock near his mouth. There was a whimpering sound. After testing the sound, Barney actually used a stone to play an intermittent tune. Yaki becomes much quieter. Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing also feel relaxed. They didn't seem to notice that Yaki's half-closed eyes suddenly changed color. His eyes were filled with red streaks of blood. Sister Lin, we can't search aimlessly like this. We are too slow. Why don't we go around by flying on the sword? Wen Guanjing suggests with a frown. As expected, Lin Luoran refuses. Flying on the sword is fast, but it is too fast. We may miss the clues of Baojia or the murals. Lin Luoran suddenly feels lucky that she gave the universal sack to Baojia. As long as the universal sack is with Baojia, the food and water in it will be enough for Baojia to survive in the desert for a long time, provided that there is no other danger. Wen Guanjing doesn't say anything more. Neither of them knows what they will encounter in this strange desert. It's better to walk. At least, it can save Reiki. He hands her a bottle of water. Lin Luoran shakes her head and is about to say something when she hears a scream. She turns around and sees that Barney is strangling Yaki's neck with one hand. Barney is holding the rock he used to play with, which is stained with blood. Barney, what are you doing? Wherever Lin Luoran's palm goes, a gentle force slaps the two men away. Wen Guanjing rushes to Barney and stops him, but Yaki rushes to fight with him. Wen Guanjing kicks Yaki's thin body away, but the latter doesn't stop. Both of them change their target and start to fight Wen Guanjing together. The two of them are not only ordinary people, but also their guides. Wen can't really hurt them, so he doesn't want to kill them. Gradually, he becomes angry. He only felt that his heart was filled with a tyrannical feeling. He wanted to tear these two short, ant-like mortals in front of him to shreds. Two gusts of wind pass by. It turns out that Lin Luoran has tied up the two crazy people with two water ropes. Wen Guanjing's anger subsides a little. Lin Luoran says seriously, "Look at their eyes." Barney and Yaki, who are tied up by the water ropes, stare at Wen Guanjing and Wen Guanjing with red eyes full of hatred. Wen Guanjing is calm, but he is also annoyed by the two crazy people. Lin Luoran pauses for a second and says, "Your eyes." She finds that Wen Guanjing's eyes are also bloodshot, and the blood is spreading to the whites of his eyes. Chapter 183. It's noon in the desert. The sun is baking the sand. There is no wind. However, when Lin Luoran notices the abnormality of the broken wall, she suddenly sees the sand flying all over the sky. The wind comes so suddenly, just like the strange wind when Baojia disappeared. Lin Luoran notices that Wen Guanjing's eyes have returned to normal after staying in the base for a while. However, Barney and Yaki, who are tied up outside the pillar, are still struggling like two beasts who have lost their minds. Yes, Wen Guanjing's eyes turned red because he tried to stop the two bushmen from fighting. The problem lies outside the broken wall. As soon as Lin Luoran thinks of this, two water ropes fly out and pull the two bushmen in. Sure enough, the two irascible bushmen gradually calm down. Wen Guanjing is still scared. "Sister Lin, this place is so weird. Let's get out of here as soon as possible." Lin Luoran smiles bitterly. She points to the violent sandstorm outside and says, "Do you think we can leave now?" A sandstorm is coming, flying around the small relic. Lin Luoran and Yaki may be able to break through the sandstorm, but Barney and Yaki are likely to be torn into pieces by the hurricane. "Sister Lin, the sandstorm seems to be blocked outside the relic. Is this a shelter built by someone?" Wen Guanjing thinks of this possibility. Lin Luoran, on the other hand, is not optimistic. Maybe it is because of Yaki's words about the curse of the demon and Baojia's disappearance. Lin Luoran always feels uneasy about this trip. It seems that the relic is protecting us from the sandstorm. However, it seems that it is trying to trap us here, Lin Luoran says calmly. She doesn't want what she said to be true. Otherwise, she will jinx it. Seeing that Yaki and Barney's eyes are no longer red, Lin Luoran loosens their ropes and asks them what happened. Barney thought for a moment. At first he had been whistling a little tune, but when he heard Chief Yaki complaining, he got angry and wanted to tell him to shut up. So they got into a scuffle, and Barney hit him with a stone. Yaki also talks for a while. What he says is that the Bushmen have always been united and friendly. Why would he complain about Barney? There must be a demon behind this. After listening to their conversation, when Guanjing thinks about it. At first, he also felt something. When he tried to stop the two bushmen from fighting, he got impatient and had the idea of violence. His eyes are gradually filled with blood streaks. Lin Luoran remains silent for a while and says, "There must be something that we don't know. Fortunately, we found it early, or else I would have been hurt." She doesn't finish her words, but when Guanjing knows what will happen. Yes, if Lin Luoran loses her mind and becomes violent, no one here will survive except for herself. When Guanjing may be able to hold on for a while, but it is only a matter of time. Even though he is in the later stage of training qi, he is still far away from the level of laying foundation. When Lin Luoran loses her mind, she will not be able to hold on for long. In fact, the reason why Lin Luoran is safe is that she has a higher level of cultivation. Also, she rarely gets angry. As long as she keeps calm and her spiritual mind is as steady as a mountain, she will be fine. Barney cleans the wound on Yaki's head. They don't care about the fight, but Lin Luoran can't relax. Baojia is missing now. No matter whether the sandstorm is coming for them or trying to trap them here, Lin Luoran can't relax. Yaki murmurs the bushman's peace spell. Barney does the same. Lin Luoran doesn't stop him. The bushmen know more about this desert than Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing, two outsiders. However, Zhang Tai didn't know if Yaki and Yaki's peace incantation really worked, as the sandstorm gradually subsided. A smile finally appeared on Yaki's dark and thin face. He touched the big lizard on his waist and felt that the ordeal this time was about to be over. Barney also smiles. Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing look at each other and they both don't look well. Lin Luoran's hearing is better than that of ordinary people. She didn't hear anything when the sandstorm was raging. However, when the sandstorm subsides and the wind dies down, she hears a rustling sound that tickles her heart. What is passing by in a group on the sand? The sandstorm gradually subsides. Lin Luoran looks into the distance. She sees many moving black dots on the dune. When she sees clearly what they are, she feels numb all over her body. A ball of fire appears in Wen Guanjing's hand and he frowns. This sandstorm was indeed like what senior sister Lin had said. It was meant to trap them here. Yaki and Barney also saw the approaching army. Both of them were terrified. Wen Guanjing doesn't care. These little things are useless against two cultivators, scorpions. Those scorpions are moving forward quickly on the sand with their big pincers. Lin Luoran feels her blood freeze. Even though some people in Southeast Asia regard these poisonous insects as a delicacy, no one will feel hungry when the whole dune is covered with black scorpions and there are more reinforcements behind them. Should we go or take a look? When Guanjing starts to ask for Lin Luoran's opinion. A blue light flashes in Lin Luoran's hand. The bright sword suddenly appears in her hand. She says, "Let's go to a higher place and take a look." The bright sword glows and becomes bigger in front of Barney and Wen Guanjing. Lin Luoran jumps on the sword and the light from the sword soars into the sky. Damn it, the earth seems to have a gravitational force. Lin Luoran is forced to fall back after only a few meters. Sister. Wen Guanjing thinks that something has happened to her. Lin Luoran puts away the bright sword and says, "There seems to be an inhibition here. We are probably trapped here." Wen Guanjing comes from a famous family. Speaking of cultivation, he is not as powerful as Lin Luoran. However, he knows a lot about cultivation. The Wen family of Zhu Mountain is not only a swordsman, but they also know a lot about inhibition. The most serious thing is that Wen Guanjing, who knows a thing or two about inhibition, doesn't notice that there is an inhibition here at all. He has been here for a long time but he doesn't know that Lin Luoran is forced to come back. "Sister, we are in trouble. If these scorpions can come in here without any hindrance, just like us, this is what worries Lin Luoran." In the blink of an eye, the army of scorpions is only a few meters away. Lin Luoran tries the wind riding spell again. Well, she can use Reiki, but there seems to be a solid glass cover above their heads. They can't fly forward after a few meters. Barney screams. When Guanjing casts a spell with his right hand and casts a wall of fire in the desert. The scorpions that are crawling fast start to sizzle as soon as they touch the fire. The scorpions are temporarily blocked by the fire. Soon, the scorpion began to emit a tempting aroma. Barney swallowed his saliva and put his mind at ease for the time being. These two Easterners were mysterious, and they were not to be trifled with. With them around, their safety should be guaranteed, right? Yaki is still chanting his peace spell. Lin Luoran feels that things are not so simple. When Guanjing controls his Reiki and tries to sense the inhibition. Unfortunately, he finds nothing. The wall of fire blocks Lin Luoran's sight. Lin Luoran jumps onto a broken stone about 1 meter high. Looking at the black scorpions rushing forward fearlessly, Lin Luoran feels annoyed. If they are trapped, the army of scorpions will be endless. As the saying goes, even a large number of ants can kill an elephant. Both Wen Guanjing and Lin Luoran will run out of Reiki. Even if Lin Luoran can hide in the space, the other three will definitely die. Oh no! Lin Luoran looks at the scorpions from the broken stone. The scorpions have learned their lesson. They start to spray venom from their tails. The venom comes in small streams, and they are threatening to put out the wall of fire. What kind of scorpions are they? When Guanjing uses his Reiki to cast the fire wall, which is not an ordinary fire. However, the venom of the scorpions can put out the fire wall. Obviously, these scorpions are not ordinary at all. As the controller of the wall of fire, Wen Guanjing can feel the abnormality of the wall. He changes his hand gesture and reduces the range of the wall of fire. The wall can only protect the 4 of them. He shouts, "Sister Lin, can you try to break the inhibition?" As soon as he reduces the range of the wall of fire, the scorpions get greedy and surround them again. They are sparing no effort in spraying venom. Barney and Yaki are very close to Wen Guanjing. They are afraid that they will be burned by the wall of fire. Of course, they are also afraid of being stung by the scorpions. Lin Luoran nods and summons the bright sword again. The sword is shining with blue light. In this dry and hot desert, many functions of the flying sword of the water family cannot be used, so its power is reduced. Lin Luoran infuses her Reiki into the sword. The bright sword expands quickly, and its surface is covered with a layer of crystal white frost. They are all in the same circle of fire. On one side, they are being roasted by the Reiki fire, and on the other side, they are being chilled by the bright sword. Barney and Yaki are ordinary people, so they are suffering from the fire and ice. Lin Luoran will not let them die. She is not only kind, but also needs to find Baojia and solve the mystery of the murals. The blue light of the bright sword is dazzling. When Lin Luoran is about to cut the void above her head, she sees a commotion among the scorpions. Another black shadow appears on the other side of the hill, when Guanjing also sees it clearly. The 2 bushmen wish they didn't see it clearly, so Lin Luoran can't ignore it. The army of scorpions makes a way for Lin Luoran. They raise their pincers and bow down, shaking the sand. The eyes of the scorpion are like 2 red lanterns. Its body is 7 or 8 meters long, and its pincer is thicker than Lin Luoran's waist. Is it also a scorpion? Chapter 184. The scorpions give up their attack temporarily to welcome their king. This is obviously a scorpion king, but it is hard to say whether it has become a monster or not. Lin Luoran holds the hilt of her sword tightly and asks Wen Guanjing, "Do monsters still exist?" When Guanjing's face darkens as if he has seen a ghost, "Sister Lin, the Tao of nature is chaotic and Reiki is violent. Humans also have spells that suppress monsters. Monster cultivators absorb Reiki directly and never transform it. How can they still exist?" He silently corrects Lin Luoran's point of view. "It is not a monster. It is a monster cultivator." Lin Luoran looks at the behemoth. If it is not a monster cultivator, then it must be a monster. Some species with strong bodies with special talents are still living well on the earth where Reiki is full of violence, aren't they? For example, Goldie, whom Lin Luoran brought out of the secret land, the giant turtle she saw in the deep sea of Bermuda, and the giant scorpion in front of her. The Scorpion King looks at the three people in the inhibition with its eyes as bright as lanterns. Lin Luoran is ready to stab it at any time if it dares to attack. To Lin Luoran's surprise, the Scorpion King doesn't attack them after it shows up. Instead, it stops the army of scorpions from attacking. Lin Luoran doesn't relax because of this. She thinks for a while and feels that she is in a dilemma. The Scorpion King seems to be intelligent. It is in a stalemate with them. The scorpions are just outside, and when Guanjing's fire wall is burning, the scorpions will run out of Reiki sooner or later. What a good plan. Lin Luoran snorts. The scorpions can wait, but they can't. They have to get rid of the big one first. She throws a jade to Guanjing. He catches it. He is confused at first, but then he is happy. Lin Luoran has a lot of pills. Lin Luoran puts away the bright sword and casts a spell with her right hand. Are these scorpions not afraid of fire? Let's try something else. In the desert, the water and wood are useless. However, in addition to the fire, there is the earth. The brown light gathers. The Scorpion King has a bad feeling. It commands its army to retreat, but it is obviously too late. Under the guidance of Reiki, the low-key light of the earth bursts out, spell over. Go! The yellow sand is stirred up. The Scorpion King waves its big pincers and stands its tail upside down. A dark light comes to Lin. At the same time, the damage caused by Lin's spell is finally revealed. A whirlpool suddenly appears on the calm sand dunes. Most of the scorpions are dragged into the sand and many are killed by the tearing force. This spell could only be used by cultivators in the foundation establishment stage. It was mainly of the earth element and supplemented by the metal element. It was called Hurricane Storm. It could mobilize the two elements of spiritual chi to form a powerful pit in the ground, accompanied by a destructive hurricane. The good thing was that it was very powerful. Not only did it destroy most of the scorpions, but even the Scorpion King seemed to have suffered a little. At least half of its body was buried under the yellow sand. The downside is that Lin Luoran narrowly avoids the black light and has no energy left. This is the downside. Even the wacken of a cultivator in the level of laying foundation will be used up. Spells of mass attack are effective, but they come at a cost. Barney and Yaki look at Lin Luoran in the same way they look at the giant scorpion. Such earth-shattering spells belong to the category of demons. However, when Guanjing's eyes are shining, it is not a common thing for him to see a cultivator in the level of laying foundation fight. Lin Luoran's action has obviously shocked him a lot. The Scorpion King sees that Lin Luoran has killed most of the soldiers and dodged its attack. It struggles out of the sand. As expected, one of its legs is injured and it walks unsteadily. It comes to the wall of fire in a few steps. It gives up on the other three people and stares at Lin Luoran as if it is going to eat her. Lin Luoran is not afraid at all. That day, she caught Goldie even though she was not in the laying foundation period. This scorpion is just a little bit rough and looks scary. If they were not trapped here, they would not have to be afraid of it. Lin Luoran doesn't know if these monsters have different levels. Lin Luoran always relies on her intuition to deal with her enemies. She has a feeling that she can't deal with them. She can't tell the level of her enemies if you ask her. The information White Fairy gave her didn't mention it either. The Scorpion King swings its tail again. This time, it is not a black light, but the whole scorpion tail passes through the wall of fire and whips at Lin Luoran. Rather than a whips, it feels more like something as thick as a python. The Sword of Bright appears in Lin Luoran's hand instantly. Lin Luoran slashes at the tail with all her strength. The sound of metal colliding with stone comes and sparks fly. The Scorpion King feels pain and withdraws its tail. Lin Luoran sees only a white mark on the tail. The scorpion's tail is not cut off by the Sword of Bright. This scorpion is really armored. Not only that, the tail of the Scorpion King is not hurt when it passes through the wall of fire. When Guanjing starts to doubt the power of his wall of fire while absorbing the Reiki inside the jade. The wall of fire can't stop the scorpion. What should she do? Lin Luoran's palms are sweaty. She only has one attack. If she misses, the scorpion will step into the wall of fire and they will be trapped here. They will be living targets. Wen and Lin Luoran may be safe, but the two tour guides will not be able to protect them. What can penetrate the shell of the Scorpion King? Lin Luoran squints her eyes and thinks of all the spells she knows. However, there are few spells that can defeat the grade 5 magic weapon, Sword of Bright Snow, in a single attack. The terrain is not suitable either. Looking at the Scorpion King raising its pincers, Lin Luoran has an idea. That's right, why should she attack its shell? The joints are the weakest part. When Guanjing controls the wall of fire to stop the rest of the scorpions. At the same time, he finds the weakness, sister, attack the joints. The joints. Lin Luoran smiles. In fact, there is another place that is more suitable. With a flash of fire, a bow of nothingness appears in front of Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran puts her right hand on the bowstring and a fiery arrow is formed. It is really easy for a cultivator in the level of laying foundation to cast spells in the level of training chi. The Scorpion King swings its pincers down and Lin Luoran shoots out the fire arrow. At the same time, Lin Luoran jumps off the broken stone and shouts, "Everybody!" Yaki and Barney are frightened by the scene. They huddle together with their heads in their hands. Only when Guanjing is still standing and casting spells. Lin Luoran pounces on Wen and Wen together. The Scorpion King's pincers graze their scalps. The distance between them is less than half a foot. That was close. She gains a lot from this adventure. Lin Luoran's arrow goes into the stinky mouth of the Scorpion King and causes great damage to its internal organs. The Scorpion King's body trembles violently and its big pincers are waving. Lin Luoran has a bad feeling. Just when she has time to set up a shield made of sand, the Scorpion King's big pincers sweep down the towering broken walls and hit on the shield. At the same time, the Scorpion King's pincers fall down. Lin Luoran's shield is too big and every part of the shield is too weak. She bears most of the pressure and spits out blood. The blood stains Wen Guanjing's clothes. Sister Lin. Wen Guanjing is worried because he doesn't know how badly Lin Luoran is injured. Lin Luoran wipes the blood from her mouth and tries to smile at him. Suddenly, the ground around them starts to shake violently. Shit, Wen Guanjing doesn't need to tell them what is wrong. They all know what is wrong. The rock beneath them suddenly sank, and a whirlpool of quicksand formed. All four of them were sucked into the whirlpool. The struggling Scorpion King could not escape the whirlpool either, and all of them disappeared from the spot. After a quarter of an hour, the wind calms down and the sand calms down. There are only some little scorpions left. The four of them, including the Scorpion King, are all gone. This is a flat sand field. It seems that the people and the monsters fighting fiercely have never been here. The scorpions stay for a while and then disperse. Chapter 185. What is the world under the sand dunes like? Was it also the same as the endless soft sand and darkness where one couldn't even see one's own fingers if one were to be buried in it, unable to breathe and suffocating to death in an instant? In fact, it is more like a maze. The tunnels are winding and there are hundreds of intersecting forks. Sometimes they are wide, sometimes they are narrow. Some lead to a safe place, and some lead to a dead end. There is a slightly wider fork in the road. There is light on the walls. Lin Luoran doesn't know what kind of luminous substance is in the rocks. In the dim light, the the woman lying on the ground finally wakes up. Lin Luoran feels that all her bones are about to fall apart. She supports herself with one hand and sits up slowly. The pain reminds her of what happened before. The relic suddenly collapsed. The ground under their feet turned into sand and became fluid. Even the people and the stones were sucked into the quicksand. This is much more powerful than her hurricane storm. Before they could react, they were all sucked into the quicksand and then lost consciousness. As for the wound on her back, it must be caused by the Scorpion King when it was crazy. Thinking of the Scorpion King, Lin Luoran looks around. The tunnel is shining like gold powder, but she doesn't see Wen Guanjing and the others. It seems that the four of them have fallen into different places. Lin Luoran holds back the urge to find them. She throws a circulation bolus into her mouth and holds a piece of jade in each hand to replenish her wakan. It takes her almost an hour to dissolve the medicine. She feels that her internal organs are no longer in pain and she has replenished a lot of wakan. Finally, she stands up. There are 7 or 8 forks in front of her. They are less than 2 feet tall and narrow. Lin Luoran doesn't know which one to choose. However, why is there a faint smell of blood in this fork? Is it possible that someone is injured? Lin Luoran is happy at first, but then she realizes that her spiritual mind is only dozens of meters away from the tunnel. She can't detect what is emitting the smell of blood in the depths of the tunnel. Is she not under the relic, but deeper into the desert? Lin Luoran is guessing. She holds the bright sword in her hand in case she needs it. She walked forward carefully. The tunnel was sometimes wide and sometimes narrow. Although there was a faint light, there was also the sound of water dripping on the ground from time to time. When the water hit the puddle on the ground, there was only an empty echo. Other than that, there was no other sound. It was really a test of courage. After walking for hundreds of meters, Lin Luoran finally sees what the bloody smell is. It turns out that the Scorpion King also fell down. It lies in the middle of the tunnel and there is no gap in the small tunnel. The scorpion is dead. The smell of blood comes from a group of hamsters that are smaller than cats. They are gnawing on the flesh under the shell of the Scorpion King. Lin feels so unlucky. When she is about to turn back, she suddenly has an idea. She remembered that the bright sword had only left a mark on the scorpion's shell. Didn't that mean that it was a top-notch hard object? The whole scorpion was about 7 to 8 meters long. If the scorpion shell was made into armor, everyone in the Lin family would have one. Lin Luoran's eyes light up. She finally feels a little happy. Seeing that the hamsters are looking at her with vigilance, Lin Luoran spreads out her hands and sits nearby with her legs crossed to rest. She has no intention of fighting with the hamsters for food. In her eyes, the hamsters are free labor. As Lin Luoran expected, in less than an hour, the gophers have dug out the inside of the scorpion with their sharp claws and teeth. There is only a complete scorpion shell left. The gophers can't eat it anymore, so they give up. However, the hamsters are obviously not satisfied. They abandon the scorpion shell and attack Lin Luoran, who looks more delicious. After all, Sister Lin is not the Scorpion King. She gives the hamsters a few fireballs to burn them. The hamsters run around and soon disappear in the complicated underground tunnel. Lin Luoran finally puts the scorpion shell into the space and puts it under the fruit tree. However, Lin Luoran finds not only the intact scorpion shell, but also the venom sac left by the hamsters. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to throw it away. She takes out a jade box to divide the venom sac and continues on her way. Since all the forks are similar, Lin Luoran can only go down the tunnel in front of her. The phoenix hairpin in Lin Luoran's palm is shining with blue light. If something goes wrong, the bright sword can attack the enemy at any time. The sound of water dripping reverberated, and the tunnel seemed to have no end. Lin Luoran doesn't notice anything wrong at first. She passes the same place for the 3rd time and finally realizes that she is repeating the same tunnel. A maze? Lin Luoran looks at the burnt hamster's skin on the ground. This is the place where she collects the scorpion shell and burns the hamsters. No wonder she hasn't found a new tunnel. She has been repeating the same tunnel. Lin Luoran hasn't relaxed all the way. Her spiritual mind has been warning her all the time. Unless this place is so weird that it not only restricts the spiritual mind but also disturbs it. Generally, a maze can only affect people's vision. Are these tunnels originally used to deal with cultivators? Lin Luoran simply takes back her spiritual mind. She only uses her eyes to see the way and keeps walking along the tunnel. Sure enough, after walking for only half an hour, she doesn't see the previous traces. She seems to have walked into another fork. In the empty and long tunnel, there are only the sound of water dripping and Lin Luoran's footsteps, which are so light that they can almost be ignored. Without a strong mind, people will go crazy if they walk in such an underground tunnel with only dim light and no distinction between day and night. Lin Luoran has been walking underground like this for 2 days. In such an environment, her watch has long stopped working. She inferred the time according to the maturity of the crops in her space. In the past 2 days, aside from the occasional gophers or ridiculously large ants and insects, she actually did not encounter any danger at all. She doesn't know how big this underground place is. Has the Kalahari Desert not been developed at all? How can such a place be undiscovered? Lin Luoran moves her fingers slightly. A figure flashes on the smooth bead of the phoenix hairpin. Seeing Lin Luoran stop, it quickly hides in the tunnel. Lin Luoran smiles faintly. This little thing has been following her for almost a day. It's time for it to show itself. With a thought, Lin Luoran suddenly disappears. The bead floats in the air for a while and finally falls to the ground. It is gray and inconspicuous. After waiting for a while, a furry thing pops its head at the corner of the tunnel. It seems to be sure that there is no danger and it finally sneaks out. Seeing that Lin Luoran is not there, it doesn't seem to be in a hurry. It sniffs with its nose, but it still can't figure out which fork Lin Luoran went to. Then it scratches its paws and becomes anxious. It jumps to where Lin Luoran used to be. There is still Lin Luoran's smell in the air. It can't be wrong. However, where is Lin Luoran? The little thing lowers its sharp chin and finds the bead lying quietly on the ground. It picks it up with its claws. It looks delicious. When it is about to put the bead into its mouth, Lin Luoran suddenly appears. The bead is gone and a pair of hands full of Reiki grabs the little thing's neck from behind. The little thing squeaks. Lin Luoran raises its head. Is it a fox? It is indeed a cyan fox that is struggling in her hand. Although its fur is cyan, which is different from ordinary foxes, Lin Luoran is confident that she will not mistake a fox for a fox. It turns out that this little thing has been following her for a whole day. But who can tell her how a fox can survive in the tunnel under the desert? There are gophers as big as cats, ants as big as eggs, and scorpions as long as 7 or 8 meters. This is the Kalahari Desert in Africa. It is not a secret land. How can there be so many supernatural creatures? Lin Luoran is confused. She is not sure if there are any secret land. Of course, there is also a fox. What can a fox do? It is so skinny. Even if Lin Luoran has the heart to kill it, it won't get much meat. She has to let it go. Hey, I'll let you go. Can you stop following me? Lin Luoran has been holding back for so long that she feels confused. She can't believe that she talks to a fox. However, what makes Lin Luoran's eyes almost pop out is that the cyan fox nods and keeps bowing to Lin Luoran. What? It can understand human language. This is not an ordinary fox. Lin Luoran uses her clear sight to look into its body. The cyan fox seems to feel something and it starts to tremble uneasily. Be good. I won't hurt you. Lin Luoran comforts it. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether the cyan fox really believes Lin Luoran or it feels that there is no way to escape. The fox really stops moving. What? The cyan fox is indeed strange. There is some reiki in its blood, but it is less than that of the old monkey. It doesn't seem to know any powerful skills. Lin Luoran wonders what it eats to survive in the underground. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and puts the fox down. Little thing, don't follow me anymore. Do you understand? Even though the fox is a little strange, Lin Luoran is not going to take everything home with her. Lin Luoran has something to do and she doesn't have time to play with the cyan little fox. She has to let it go. The cyan fox can understand human language. Being put on the ground by Lin Luoran, it doesn't attack her. However, after hearing Lin Luoran's words, it shakes its head as if it wants to follow Lin Luoran no matter what. Lin Luoran is angry and amused at the same time. She just ignores it and keeps searching in the tunnel. The cyan fox follows Lin Luoran closely. It doesn't want to get close to Lin Luoran, but it is also afraid that Lin Luoran will leave it behind. Lin Luoran turns a blind eye to it and continues to eat and rest. The cyan fox rolls its eyes and disappears into the tunnel in a blink of an eye. Lin Luoran looks at it and decides to leave. But just as she rested for a while and was about to leave, the green-skinned fox hopped in front of her again. It held something in its little paws and placed it in front of her. It jumped far away and looked at her with a hopeful and vigilant gaze. Lin Luoran looks down. It is something like a tuber. Lin Luoran feels it is familiar. She can't be sure just by looking at it, so she picks it up and smells it. There is a light smell of medicine. It is indeed the medicine she knows. However, who can tell her that sealwort grows in the desert? Chapter 186. What the fox puts on the ground is indeed sealwort, and it is over 100 years old. This little thing is so smart. Lin doesn't know where it found it and threw it in front of her. Lin Luoran has heard some stories about foxes returning favors. However, she is sure that she has never helped this little fox. Since it doesn't want to repay her favor, does it want to ask for her help? Usually, Lin Luoran would be patient to figure out the fox's intention. However, at this moment, Lin Luoran has been searching for Wen Guanjing and others for 2 days without any clues, let alone Baojia. How can she have the patience to deal with this little fox? Lin Luoran doesn't take the sealwort. The little fox is anxious and angry. Its round eyes are shining with tears. It doesn't even want the sealwort anymore. It turns around and runs away. Soon, it disappears in the complicated tunnel. Lin Luoran sighs. If it is possible, she would like to help this little fox. However, looking at the back of the little fox, Lin Luoran feels sorry. She doesn't look at the sealwort and continues to walk forward. Lin Luoran doesn't know where these tunnels lead to. Is it natural or man-made? It seems that these tunnels have nothing to do with the murals they are looking for. Lin Luoran doesn't know where Baojia is now. After walking for half a day, Lin Luoran hears something behind her. She turns around and sees the little fox again. Its shiny fur is stained with mud, and its claws are full of black mud. The fox is holding a bigger sealwort and looking at Lin Luoran pitifully. Oh, it hasn't given up. Looking at its appearance, this sealwort was most likely found by itself. This green-skinned fox was quite capable. Lin Luoran waved her hand and said, "You can go back now." The fox kowtows again and again. Seeing that Lin Luoran doesn't move, it leaves the sealwort and runs away just like last time. Lin Luoran checks the sealwort. It is also 300 years old. Lin Luoran doesn't know where the fox found it. However, she has a lot of things to deal with and she can't spare any time to help it. Lin Luoran tells herself a lot of reasons to convince herself in her mind, forcing herself to harden her heart. Half a day later, Lin Luoran doesn't know why she slows down. As she expected, the fox catches up with her for the 3rd time. Lin Luoran stops and looks at it. It is still holding a piece of sealwort in her hand. It is smaller than the previous two pieces. However, Lin Luoran can feel the abundant reiki in the sealwort from such a long distance. Therefore, this sealwort must be 700 or 800 years old. I told you I can't help you. Why do you have to do this? Lin Luoran sighs and feels sorry for him. The fox holds the sealwort in front of Lin and asks her to take it. Lin forces herself to turn around. After a few steps, she still can't make up her mind. She looks back and finds that the fox doesn't leave. It is standing there with the sealwort in its hands. There is a puddle of water on the ground and water drops from its head. Fox tears. Lin Luoran notices that one of the fox's feet is not normal. Its fur is stained with more mud. The smell of medicine can't cover up the faint blood stains. Is it hurt? Lin Luoran can't help but turn around and walk back. The little fox raises its head and looks at her. It has a pointed chin and its eyes are wet. It is crying. Hey, did you find this? Lin Luoran's voice startles the crying fox. It is afraid that Lin Luoran doesn't believe that it found the sealwort. It picks up the sealwort and smells it. Then it makes a gesture of digging the ground with its claws. Lin Luoran is confused. Is this fox an expert in finding medicine? You brought the sealwort to me 3 times. Do you need my help? Lin Luoran squats down and uses a cleaning spell to clean the dirt on the fox. The fox nods, thinking that Lin Luoran has changed her mind. It pushes the sealwort to Lin Luoran. Seeing that Lin Luoran doesn't take the sealwort, the fox is anxious. Its right foot is injured. This is the best medicine it can find. If Lin Luoran can't be moved by it, the fox will be helpless. Lin Luoran's heart softens. She holds the fox in her arms and comforts it. I'll take your sealwort. What can I do for you? Lin Luoran puts the sealwort into her space. A green light flashes on her right hand and covers the fox's injured right foot. The fox is only injured. Lin Luoran doesn't need to use the healing spell. She just needs some wood reiki to stop the bleeding and recover. Tell me, what do you want me to do? The fox rubs itself in Lin Luoran's arms and points the way with its claws. It tells Lin Luoran to go to a tunnel nearby. Lin Luoran holds the fox tightly and walks to the tunnel at a faster speed. The fox seems to be tired along the way, but it tries not to fall asleep. Lin Luoran doesn't know what happened to the fox that made it want her, a human, for help. The sealwort it brings is older and older. The fox's expressions are vivid and it can understand Lin Luoran's words. It seems to be very intelligent. Lin Luoran wonders what kind of fox it is. It must be the 3rd time it went to find sealwort. If Lin Luoran knew this, she would have agreed to help it earlier. Lin Luoran knows that being soft-hearted is a taboo. However, she can't turn a blind eye to such a weak fox. Lin Luoran and the fox don't stop. Lin Luoran keeps going. After many turns, the cyan little fox raises its ears and jumps out of Lin Luoran's arms. Seeing that the cyan little fox is tiptoeing, Lin Luoran holds her breath and moves forward quietly. There are many round holes on both sides of the tunnel. Seeing that the cyan little fox cares about them, Lin Luoran is very careful. After a few steps, Lin Luoran sees an open cave in front of her. A white fox, a little bigger than the cyan little fox, is hanging on the wall of the cave. Its slightly trembling claws prove that it is still alive. Did the cyan little fox ask her to save this white fox? Lin Luoran looks down and sees that the cyan little fox is pointing at the white fox, scratching its ears and claws anxiously. It should be easy to save the white fox from such a height. Is there something else? Lin Luoran casts a ray of golden light on her fingertip, and the vines binding the white fox are broken. Lin Luoran gently catches the white fox. The cyan little fox is very happy. It rushes to Lin Luoran and gently pats the white fox like a human. At this moment, a big net falls from the top of the cave, covering the human and the two foxes. Many creatures with tails come out of the round holes. They are the gophers Lin Luoran saw before. The creatures underground are really amazing. Not only the highly intelligent cyan fox, but also the gophers can make traps. Lin Luoran holds the two foxes in her arms. She looks at the gophers, wondering what they are going to do. A gopher, as big as a leopard, walks out of the cave surrounded by other gophers. Its whiskers are all white, indicating that it has lived for many years. It stares at the two foxes in Lin Luoran's arms with disgust. Seeing this, Lin Luoran can guess what is going on. It seems that the two foxes have a grudge against the gophers. They catch the big one and are trying to lure the small one into the trap. Gophers are so smart. What is the advantage of human beings? For example, the gophers are not good at weaving the net. Lin Luoran looks at the trembling cyan little fox in her arms and touches its head. Don't be afraid. They are no match for me. Chapter 187. Lin Luoran has seen the sharp teeth of the gophers. Now that she has figured out the situation, she won't wait for the gophers to get close to her. She stretches out the bright sword and cuts open the big net on her head. The white-bearded earth rat is furious. It commands the earth rats to rush at Lin. The situation is different from the time when Lin was attacked by the scorpion army. Lin has limited space to move. Besides, the earth rats have sharp teeth and can't spit venom like the scorpions do. With one slash of her sword, all the earth rats that come at Lin are cut off and die on the spot. Seeing the flesh and blood of their own kind, the gophers become crazy. They rush at Lin Luoran in groups. The cyan little fox is so scared that it buries its head in Lin Luoran's arms. Lin Luoran builds a fire wall around her. The gophers inside the fire wall are killed by Lin Luoran. With the fire wall as a barrier, the gophers can't get in. Lin Luoran gathers a beam of red light in her hand. It is the first movement of the fire arrow spell. She must kill the leader first. If the gophers don't know what to do, Lin Luoran will have to shoot the leader of the gophers to get rid of the trouble. The fiery bow appears in the air. The gopher can feel the power of the arrow even though it is surrounded by hundreds and thousands of gophers. In this confrontation with Lin Luoran, the gophers only hold on for a few seconds. The fire is burning and the cave is full of burn marks. Since the gophers know how to set traps to catch foxes, how can they not see the situation clearly? It took the lead and disappeared into the omnipresent round hole. Soon, the rats retreated back into the round hole like a tide, just like how they came. Lin Luoran doesn't know where the holes lead to. She has no grudge against them, so she doesn't want to kill them. After a while, Lin Luoran puts down the two foxes after making sure no gophers return. The white fox is still lying on the ground, half dead. The cyan little fox begs Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran squats down to check on the white fox. Its blood and qi are exhausted, not because of injury, but because of the limit of its lifespan. In other words, the white fox can't be saved. Seeing the cyan little fox's pitiful look, Lin Luoran sends a mass of wood reiki into the white fox's body. Though it can't save it, it can at least bring it back to life. The white fox wakes up slowly, and the cyan little fox cries with joy. Tears roll down from its eyes, making it look both pitiful and lovely. It doesn't know that the white fox is just alive with the help of Lin's wood reiki. It only thinks that the white fox is fine. How can it be unhappy? The white fox is frightened when it sees the cyan little fox in front of it. It doesn't think that the cyan little fox can save it. It thinks that the cyan little fox is also caught and the two foxes are locked together by the gophers. Then it notices Lin Luoran. After a moment of surprise, it looks at her with vigilance, as if she is scarier than the gophers. Foxes are suspicious by nature. Lin Luoran has expected the reaction of the white fox. Lin Luoran doesn't mind. She waits for the cyan little fox to explain in a language that Lin Luoran doesn't understand. The white fox looks at Lin Luoran with vigilance, but it is much softer now. Lin Luoran looks at them and says, "You'd better get out of here." She has to find Baojia and Wen Guanjing, so she can't waste any more time. Though the two foxes look pitiful, she can't take care of them all the time. Lin Luoran tries to persuade them to leave. However, when she turns around, the cyan little fox holds her feet and screams. It is gesturing with its hands. Lin Luoran doesn't know what it is trying to say. The cyan little fox drags it to the other end of the cave. Lin Luoran has to follow it. What? There is a light smell of medicine. Lin Luoran sees that there is a small cave in the big gopher's cave. There are green plants that look like ginger leaves. Lin Luoran knows that they are the leaves of sealwort at first glance. There are hundreds of sealworts planted in the cave. They are of different ages, but most of them are over 100 years old. What's more, there are traces of digging around. The soil has been moved, and many leaves are broken. Is it possible that the sealworts that cyan little fox asked Lin Luoran for help are actually stolen from gophers? If so, they can't blame the gophers for catching the white fox. No, it doesn't make sense. Lin Luoran suspects that she has done something bad with her good intention. She asks coldly, "The sealwort that you brought earlier, was it dug here?" Lin Luoran lowers her head and asks again. She hopes that the cyan little fox can answer no. Such a large sealwort forest is more likely to be planted by gophers. The cyan little fox can understand human language, but it can't distinguish the tone of a conversation like a human. It doesn't know that Lin Luoran is angry. Instead, it nods happily. Lin Luoran feels cold. She is afraid that she has wronged the fox, so she continues to ask, "Was the white fox caught for stealing sealworts?" The cyan little fox nods and then shakes its head. It can't explain it clearly. Lin Luoran gets the answer she wants. Sure enough, this time, she was too presumptuous to be a good person. She was prejudiced and thought that the gophers were cruel, so she thought that the two foxes were the victims and killed many of the gophers. Now, it seemed that the two foxes were the ones who stole people's sealwort. The cyan little fox asks Lin Luoran to pick sealworts again. Lin Luoran is unhappy and leaves. The cyan little fox looks around, wondering what it did wrong. Finally, it hears the long sigh of the white fox. The cyan little fox feels wronged and throws itself into the arms of the white fox. The white fox pats its back like a human, showing a mixture of love and sadness. After a while, the cyan little fox realizes that it is not a good place to stay. It runs to the small cave to pick up a sealwort and helps the white fox to leave the gopher's territory. The gophers seem to be moving again. Lin Luoran emerges from the void and stares at the thousands of round holes with cold eyes. The gophers immediately calm down. It seems that the combination of mini-world and breath-holding spell works really well. The only drawback is that the breath-holding spell will lose its effect as soon as she moves. The mini-world can hide her body, but it can't hide her breath. Lin Luoran wonders if the breath-holding spell can be improved. She puts this idea aside and follows the fox from a distance. Why does she follow the fox that lied to her? Lin Luoran doesn't know why. After all, she is soft-hearted. She is afraid that the gophers will eat them alive when she leaves. Forget it. Anyway, it is a waste of time. She might as well do a good deed. She follows them from a distance, following the two foxes through the complex tunnel. The sealwort with good Reiki acts as a guiding light from a distance. It's very competent. Maybe because the white fox is not in good health, the cyan little fox holds it all the way and walks slowly. About 2 hours later, they pass through a cave that looks like an arched moon gate and disappear in front of Lin Luoran. Huh. The ripples that flashed across the surface look like a restriction. Lin Luoran doesn't want to go in at the moment. She stops by the gate and looks inside. It is a cave with a radius of about 1 or 2 meters. The ground is covered with soft grass. There are some medicinal materials scattered on the ground. They all look good. There are also several blooming flowers with a tunnel-like luminous substance. They may be the unique creatures of the underground world. Lin Luoran doesn't know them. Logically speaking, Lin Luoran has done her best to escort them home secretly. At this time, she should be able to look for Baojia and the others without worries. However, she sees something similar to inhibition at the door of the two foxes' house. This is strange. She has checked the cyan little fox's body and found that the white fox's blood and qi are also exhausted. Are these two foxes actually monster cultivators who have achieved great cultivation? Is it possible that she is wrong? Lin Luoran feels that her mouth is dry. Are they really cunning? Have they been scheming against her since the beginning? She looks inside carefully and sees cyan little fox mashing the sealwort and some other herbs it brought back. Human race is very careful in making elixirs. Even though it is just making medicine, it will not scratch its ears and think about the quantity of herbs, let alone the fox. Does it steal the medicine to prolong the life of the white fox? If that was the case, then it was still understandable. Lin Luoran can't help but nod slightly. She values her parents very much. Seeing the other worldlings have such feelings, she can't help but feel less disgusted. However, why are the medicinal materials it chooses all nourishing blood and essence? Is there a mistake? Lin Luoran has made elixirs herself. Besides, she has some knowledge of medicinal materials since she was a child. She is confused when she sees that the medicinal materials the cyan little fox is fiddling with are not for the white fox. With confusion and curiosity, Lin Luoran continues to watch without moving. The cyan little fox fiddled with it for more than half an hour. With a reluctant expression, it reluctantly mixed the medicine into a dark green paste. However, it didn't give it to the white fox immediately. Instead, it put the paste aside and pulled up a pile of weeds in the corner. A corner of the cloth is exposed. Lin Luoran can't help but feel her eyelids twitch. The cyan little fox pulls out a person from the pile of weeds. The person is lifeless. Lin Luoran can't be wrong about his clothes. Seeing the cyan little fox bouncing around and applying the medicine to the person, Lin Luoran pinches her own thigh. Isn't this Wen Guanjing? Did the two foxes steal the medicine to save people? Lin Luoran feels ashamed. It is said that foxes are cunning. In fact, it is nothing for her to think about foxes in this way. Now, Lin Luoran has no face to hide anymore. She tries the inhibition and it seems that there is no danger. Then she walks in. Seeing Lin Luoran's sudden appearance, the white fox is not surprised. It seems that it has known that Lin Luoran is outside. However, the cyan little fox jumps up and expresses its surprise and joy. Today, both lists are full. Pa can't make a decision, but he wants to beg for red votes and book reviews. Chapter 188. I seem to have wronged you. It is easy for Lin to admit her mistake, but she is too shy to apologize to the two foxes. Lin realizes that she is not always right. She feels guilty. The white fox stares at her quietly and doesn't say anything. The cyan little fox is too young to understand people's minds. It doesn't know why Lin has wronged them, but it is happy to see Lin again. Lin Luoran looks at the fox apologetically. Humans are such strange creatures. In fact, it is not good for the fox to steal sealwort even if it is to save someone. However, if the person it is trying to save is someone it knows, the fox will be on its side. This is the inherent side of human nature. Lin Luoran can't avoid it. She squats down to check on Wen Guanjing. Lin Luoran can tell that Wen Guanjing is in a bad condition. She is worried. It's so hot. No wonder he looks lifeless from afar. Wen Guanjing's bloody face is like a stove. His complexion is abnormal. Lin Luoran touches his forehead and finds that it is burning hot. Even a cultivator in the level of training qi can't have a fever for no reason because of his physique. The wounds on Wen Guanjing's body look terrible, but most of them have stopped bleeding with the help of the two foxes. There must be something wrong with his body. Lin Luoran puts her Reiki into Wen's body through his wrist. As soon as Reiki enters his body, she is shocked by the violent fire Reiki inside his body. How can the fire Reiki be so powerful? If Lin Luoran is not in the level of laying foundation and the Reiki inside her body is one level higher than Reiki, she would have been bitten by Reiki. If Lin Luoran wants to save Wen Guanjing, she has to know how he becomes like this. If such a huge amount of fire Reiki stays in Wen Guanjing's body for a while, his cultivation will be destroyed. Where did you find him? Judging from the wounds on Wen's body, the two foxes must have saved him for a long time. Maybe they were the first ones to find him. The white fox is sick and almost dead. It lives on Lin Luoran's wood Reiki. Naturally, it has no energy to take Lin Luoran out. The cyan little fox is responsible for this task. Lin Luoran and the fox go out of the cave. The water ripples. Lin Luoran doesn't know how this seemingly harmless prohibition can protect her. The cyan little fox seems to be very familiar with this area. It leads Lin through all kinds of tunnels and soon comes to a place. The cyan little fox stops when it is still a distance away from Wen Guanjing. Lin feels the strong fire Reiki. It is very similar to the Reiki inside Wen Guanjing's body. Lin asks the cyan little fox to stay outside and walks in carefully. There is no fire as she imagined. Instead, the cave is lit up by the fire. However, the temperature is very high. Lin Luoran hasn't sweated for a long time. She is sweating now. This is a cave that extends downward. The walls of the cave are illuminated by the fire. Lin Luoran thinks that there must be a raging fire at the bottom of the cave. However, when she pokes her head out, there is only a small flame burning quietly at the bottom of the cave. Lin Luoran feels that the bright sword is beating uneasily in her hand. The Sword of Bright Snow is a grade 5 water magic weapon and it can grow. It is not strange that the flying sword has a spirit. However, since Lin got it, she has never felt so uneasy. What is that small flame? Water and fire repel each other. The small flame makes the bright sword feel uneasy. Lin Luoran can't help but think of the word, strange fire. It is mentioned in the introduction of swords. Strange fire is the help of elixirs and weapons. Lin Luoran suddenly realizes that there is only fire Reiki inside Wen Guanjing's body. Does Wen Guanjing have a single Taoist root of the fire? Lin Luoran recalls that Wen Guanjing only used magic figures when they first met each other in the back alley of the Blue Bird Club and in the Secret Land. Wen Guanjing only used magic figures and other spells related to the fire. It seems that he really has a single Taoist root of the fire. No wonder he has reached the later stage of training qi at the age of 30. In the current world of cultivation, he is already extremely fast, not including Lin Luoran, who has a cheating device. Lin Luoran looks around the cave. There are many sharp rocks on the walls. It seems that Wen Guanjing's wounds are caused by the cliffs. Inside. Maybe he fell down to the bottom of the cave. Since he has the introduction of sword, and has the Taoist root of fire, he certainly knows how precious the strange fire is. Maybe Wen Guanjing tried to collect the strange fire. Maybe he did it wrong or his cultivation was not high enough, so something went wrong. Lin Luoran can only guess. Wen Guanjing obviously failed. Not only did he fail to take the strange fire, but he also suffered from the backfire. Now, Lin Luoran can either straighten out the fire Reiki inside his body or take the strange fire out. Thinking of this, Lin Luoran is stunned. She raises her right hand and looks at the bead. It is still the same. Since she laid her foundation in the blood pool, she feels that the bead has become more obedient. In the past, when the bead found Reiki, it must have absorbed it crazily. For example, when it absorbed the Reiki from the jade bought by Fatty Chui for the first time, it was so thirsty as if it had been starving for hundreds of years. At that time, when Lin Luoran asked it to make a jade for Commander Qin, the bead was reluctant. However, when Lin Luoran got the jade, the bead was converted into Reiki without any embezzlement. Is it because the bead needs more Reiki, or has it become obedient? Lin Luoran decides to have a try. She jumps into the cave. The heat of the strange fire makes her cheeks red and she smells that her hair is burning. Lin Luoran approaches it carefully, but the bead still doesn't respond. Lin Luoran is confused. When she looks down, she finds that some shiny things under the ground around the strange fire attract her attention. She can't take the strange fire, but what about these shiny things? Lin Luoran is stunned. She touches the shiny things with her fingers, but she regrets when her fingers touch the crystals. However, the scene of them being burned did not appear. These things were actually cold around the deviant flame. The first thing that comes to Lin Luoran's mind is the small lake in the North Pole. In the boiling water of the lake, ice grass grows. All kinds of treasures go hand in hand. These crystals must be good stuff. Lin Luoran digs one out with the bright sword and puts it in her palm. A cold feeling spreads to her entire arm. It is clear but not bone-piercing. The whole crystal is diamond-shaped with many edges. It is bright red, like a well-polished diamond of fire, very bright. Even if this thing is not a relic, its appearance is enough to drive many girls crazy. When Lin Luoran tries to explore it, her expression changes. She withdraws her Reiki immediately. The cold and bright crystal contains a huge amount of fire Reiki. Lin Luoran feels that it has been absorbing the strange fire for a long time, just like when she explored Wen Guanjing's body. Although the power of the strange fire is contained inside, Lin Luoran still feels a lot of pressure by staying beside it with her Reiki. She doesn't dare to take the strange fire yet, but she can't let go of the diamonds of fire. The bright sword obediently turns into a hoe. Lin Luoran digs happily. At last, she looks at the diamonds of fire in front of her. She doesn't smile, but feels a little happy. She seems to be luckier than ordinary people. She can find good things every time. However, the danger she has been through. In fact, she always takes the courage to walk on a tightrope to get these treasures. Lin Luoran is not greedy. Wen Guanjing has a single Taoist root of the nature of fire, and now he is unconscious because of the strange fire. Lin Luoran will not be greedy and try to subdue the strange fire before she has a complete solution. She will be lying if she says she is not tempted. With the strange fire, she can not only make elixirs, but also refine weapons. After putting all the diamonds of fire into the space, Lin Luoran stands up to check if there are any other treasures. What she doesn't know is that the moment she puts the diamonds of fire into the space, a red light flashes above the inhibition of the cabin. The proud fire phoenix shows up. The silver fish also shows up. The fire phoenix looks at the diamonds of fire on the ground. Its cold eyes become a little bit relaxed, as if the diamonds of fire are something it wants to eat. Seeing that the phoenix is eager to try, the silver fish clumsily hugs the phoenix with its fins and shakes its head. The fire phoenix shows a regretful expression, but it doesn't move. Since Lin Luoran laid her foundation in the blood pool, the two have been moved by her. Therefore, they have restrained themselves a lot. They don't manipulate the bead to take advantage of Lin Luoran. However, Lin Luoran can't figure it out by herself. If it had not happened, who would have believed that the two cold and emotionless beings, who did not have any sign of life, would be moved and admire a man because of his persistence in adversity and desperation? The fire phoenix looks at the diamonds on the ground. It is greedy, but it restrains itself. Outside the space, Lin Luoran has no idea what is going on. She finds the last diamond of fire. It is very big and it is inlaid next to the strange fire. After digging out this one, Lin Luoran can go back and figure out how to save Wen Guanjing. Yes, Lin Luoran says to herself. The tip of the bright sword touches the hot ground. The fire phoenix seems to feel something. It retracts its eyes from the crystal and turns to the mist in the void, showing a happy and worried expression. Unfortunately, this space is not only its home but also a shackle that it can't escape from. It has no right to go out. What? This diamond of fire is much bigger. Lin Luoran smiles. These are all rare cultivation resources. She will never complain about having more. Chapter 189. Thank you for your votes, comments, and tips. Pa is always speechless at times like this. She can only try her best to write a better book to repay everyone. Boom, even though Lin Luoran has reacted instantly and hid in the space, a trace of strange fire still gets into her body. It boils in her pubic region of Ocean of Reiki and disturbs the Wakan Nebula that is running separately. Lin Luoran stands in the space dumbfounded, not because of the abnormality in her body, but because of the two animals above the cabin. Are they really animals? In fact, the fire phoenix and the silver fish are even more wrong than Lin Luoran. The fire phoenix is both jealous and worried about the strange fire. However, it doesn't expect that Lin Luoran hides into the space as soon as the fire touches her body. They don't even have time to hide. Lin Luoran doesn't know the fire phoenix, but the silver fish is the one that found the ice grass. Lin Luoran stares at the two creatures floating above the cabin. The fire phoenix and the silver fish come back to themselves. The fire phoenix looks at the diamond of fire on the ground with pity and disappears with the silver fish. Lin Luoran feels a burning sensation inside her body. She rushes to the space and knocks on the inhibition. She murmurs, "Come out, come out." It turns out that there are two creatures living in her space that she doesn't even know about. How can they get in and out of the cabin freely? Hey, this is so unfair. If Lin Luoran were not introverted, she would really want to grab the fire phoenix and the other two animals and cry. What kind of inheritance is this? There is no cultivation method at all. She has to explore her cultivation blindly. She doesn't know anything about this cabin, but it is clear that she can get in and out of it. Why can the silver fish, a latecomer, come in and out freely? Lin Luoran has worked so hard to beautify the space and develop crops. Why can't she get in and out of the cabin freely? Lin Luoran knocks on the inhibition for a long time. The inhibition is smooth and bouncy like QQ candy. Every time Lin Luoran rushes to it, she is bounced off. The strange fire is burning inside her body. Lin Luoran knocks on the inhibition for a while. She wonders if she is losing her mind. How can she do such a childish thing? Let's make a deal. Can you put away the strange fire? Lin Luoran doesn't know whether she is talking to the space or the two creatures in the cabin. There is no response for a long time, which makes Lin Luoran feel disappointed. The chaotic fire Reiki in her body makes her miserable. She walks to the edge of the pool and sits down next to the ice grass. She is ready to refine the violent and powerful fire Reiki under the suppression of the extreme cold. The ice grass stretches its few leaves. The small flower bud hiding in the middle is shy. Lin Luoran's approach brings it back to its previous growth environment. It shakes its long leaves with nostalgia. However, the tree of the flame fruit is the happiest. Feeling the fire Reiki from Lin's body, the tree greedily absorbs it. Red threads come out of Lin Luoran's body and quickly go to the roots of the flame fruit. The leaves are still green, but there is a red light flashing in the branches. The fire phoenix sneaks its head out and burps comfortably. How long has it been since the last time it ate? Thinking of this, the fire phoenix feels sad. Yes, it hasn't eaten anything for many years. Lin Luoran also swallowed the flame fruit that it used to smell. It seems that the fire phoenix woke up one day when it sensed the call of fire Reiki. Between eternal sleep and hunger, the fire phoenix feels that the former is more serious, so it doesn't get angry. Lin Luoran closes her eyes and knows nothing about what the fire phoenix is doing. She is just touching the fire Reiki, not trying to subdue the strange fire like Wen Guanjing. Fortunately, there is not much fire Reiki in her body, so she can suppress it for now. But what about Wen Guanjing? Lin Luoran wants to stay in the space until the strange fire calms down or the fire Reiki in her body is completely refined. However, Wen Guanjing's situation is not optimistic. Lin Luoran guesses that when she finishes refining the fire Reiki in her body, Wen Guanjing will be burnt into ashes. It would be great if the space could absorb Reiki as soon as it sees them. As soon as this idea comes to Lin's mind, the fire phoenix chirps happily. It opens its mouth and sucks out all the fire Reiki in Lin's body. The fire Reiki in Lin's body is sucked into the phoenix's mouth. The phoenix burps. Lin Luoran opens her mouth. She is sure that she heard it right, felt it right, and saw it right. The restless fire Reiki in her body is eaten by the fire phoenix. If you can, go and eat the strange fire. Go. Lin Luoran stutters, but the fire phoenix does understand her. It ignores the silver fish's worry and appears above the cabin. With its long and gorgeous tail, it circles around the cabin and chirps happily. Is this the chirp of a phoenix? The melodious chirp is like the most gorgeous brocade in the world, echoing above the space. After all, this is a proud fire phoenix. Hearing Lin Luoran's questioning tone, its hesitant heart is immediately filled with anger. After showing off to its heart's content, the fire phoenix bursts into flames. This is a kind of fire that is completely different from the strange fire. It is the natural ability of the phoenix, the nirvana fire. Lin Luoran feels that this feeling is somewhat familiar, including the cry of the phoenix. Yes, when she was in the underwater mausoleum, she was about to be possessed by the dead woman in white. When her spiritual mind was in a coma, she heard the clear cry of the phoenix, which awakened her unwillingness to admit defeat and awakened her spiritual mind. Under the fire of the spirit of the dead woman in white, Lin Luoran felt like she was reborn. She had the last bit of vitality and turned the situation around to win the difficult victory. Now it seems that the fire phoenix is the one that saved her that day. Lin Luoran regrets what she said. She is about to take back her words when the fire on the phoenix becomes more and more intense. Suddenly, a red thread falls from the misty sky and falls into the mouth of the fire phoenix. Lin Luoran stands up immediately. It is the strange fire. The fire phoenix is using a secret spell to cross the barrier of space and swallow the strange fire. Lin Luoran is moved by the phoenix's courage and worries about its recklessness. Obviously, Lin Luoran is not the only one who is worried. After spending so much time with the phoenix, the silver fish naturally knows how powerful the fire phoenix is. Its roommate was probably injured many years ago. It may look powerful, but it is too difficult for the phoenix to swallow the strange fire. The strange fire is stretched into a thread and falls from the sky. The fire on the phoenix is getting hotter and hotter. Lin Luoran is worried that the phoenix will cook her. Isn't fire the best phoenix? Why does it seem to be having a hard time? Sometimes, Lin Luoran has sharp eyes. She accidentally sees through the fire phoenix, which is a paper tiger. It is a pity that she can't help the phoenix at all. The silver fish sees that the fire phoenix is greedy and wants to swallow the whole strange fire. If the fire backfires, the silver fish's soul will be destroyed. At the critical moment, the silver fish jumps up and swings its beautiful tail at the fire phoenix. It actually used the power of this pull to interrupt the fire phoenix's action of swallowing the strange flame, which was of a completely opposite nature. The fire phoenix looks at the silver fish reluctantly and gratefully. It is so full that it has to go back to digest. The fire phoenix dives into the inhibition and disappears from the cabin. The silver fish also disappears, leaving Lin Luoran in disbelief. Hey, it has absorbed half of the strange fire. What should she do now? Staring at the fire in the air, Lin Luoran wants to cry but has no tears. She was just worried about the feathered beast and now the karma is coming. The fire phoenix was interrupted by the silver fish, so there is still half of the strange fire left. The phoenix loses its aim and flies in the air. Wherever the fire goes, the spirit herbs will be burned. Lin Luoran really wants to rush into the cabin and fight with the irresponsible fire phoenix. Seeing the fire coming at her, Lin Luoran is so angry that she can't help but run away. After chasing after her for a few steps, the fire thread actually stopped. Isn't this the place where she put the diamonds of fire? Sure enough, all the species that live together have beautiful adultery. Seeing that the fire stops, Lin Luoran feels that it has found its home. It took her a lot of effort to collect the diamonds of fire. She can't let the strange fire take advantage of them. Lin Luoran saves a few diamonds of fire. The fire falls down from the sky. In the middle of the diamonds of fire, the fire is still the same, but the total amount is smaller. Is it going to settle down in the space? Lin Luoran is really happy. She will have a place to make elixirs and weapons in the future. Lin Luoran is still happy, but the next second, the space shakes and there is even thunder. Is the space going to collapse? Lin Luoran is thrown out of the space the next second. She touches her waist, which hurts from the fall. It seems that she is still at the bottom of the cave. She looks up and sees the cyan little fox's face above the cave. The fox's fluffy tail hangs down and its face is full of confusion. It seems to be surprised that the place is not hot anymore. Lin Luoran is even more confused than the fox. What happened? The space seems to be collapsing. But now it seems that the bead is safe and sound. She goes in and has a look. Wow, it is still there. Chapter 190. Lin Luoran can't enter the space, so she can't do anything to help. She casts a wind-riding spell and flies to the top of the cave. The cyan little fox rushes up to her. Its eyes are full of confusion. It used to be so hot here. How could the strange fire suddenly disappear? Lin Luoran walks back with the fox in her arms. It is quiet in the fox cave. The white fox is resting on the round stone. Wen Guanjing is still lying on the ground. His body is burning hot. In fact, Wen Guanjing is facing a hurdle now. If he can refine the strange fire, his strength will be greatly improved. Even if he can't improve his strength for the time being, the strange fire will be very beneficial to his future development. However, Wen Guanjing's mind is not clear now. The level of training qi is different from the level of laying foundation. The ocean of Reiki has been opened and the nebula formed by Reiki will run on its own and refine the absorbed Reiki into Reiki. Lin Luoran has 3 nebulas in her body. Is it common for others or is it special for Lin Luoran? Every time the 3 nebulas run together, she feels that she can refine Reiki very quickly. Lin Luoran is not sure because no other cultivators in the level of laying foundation can study it. Lin Luoran shakes her head and focuses on Wen Guanjing again. There is only one way left, which is to help Wen Guanjing finish the process under the guidance of her Reiki. Lin Luoran knows that saving Wen Guanjing's life is very important. What makes her hesitate is not that she has to be naked like in TV shows. She feels that it is more serious than that. Her Reiki is guiding the restless fire Reiki inside Wen Guanjing's body. The fire Reiki will inevitably pass through Wen Guanjing's meridians. There are many meridians in a person's body. Every school and family has its own unique features, which is inseparable from the scriptures stored in the family. Wen Guanjing is so talented that the scriptures the Wen family let him cultivate are definitely not common. Not common. Alas, Lin Luoran doesn't know whether Wen Guanjing will be grateful to her or ask her about the scriptures after she saves him. In her mind, Wen Guanjing is quite old-fashioned. Let's save him first. This problem is giving me a headache. Like before, Lin Luoran uses her fire wacken to explore Wen's body. As soon as the fire wacken enters Wen's body, the fire Reiki molecules which have been contaminated by the strange fire rush up. Lin Luoran thinks that they are here to fight, but then she realizes that these Reiki molecules are just curious about her wacken, but they don't fight. Is it because she has been contaminated by the strange fire that these Reiki molecules think that she is one of them? Very likely. Lin Luoran is overjoyed and feels much more relaxed. She carefully bypasses the molecules of the strange fire and finds the fire Reiki in Wenguanjing's meridians. These little things have been refined and nurtured by Wenguanjing, so they are much more docile. No wonder they just hide when the strange fire is rebelling in their master's body. Lin tries to direct her wakan but pokes them, bang. Lin Luoran pops a beautiful colorful bubble. The strange fire Reiki is only agitated, but Lin Luoran's wakan is of a higher level. These quiet fire Reiki molecules are completely awakened. They seem to compare their powers with Lin Luoran's. In Lin Luoran's surprise, these Reiki molecules run away like rats. They all run away along the meridians. This is so unlike Wenguanjing. Lin Luoran is embarrassed. However, the Reiki molecules of the strange fire obviously think that this is a fun game. They all rush to join the escaping team. Seeing that the Reiki molecules are running like bandits, Lin Luoran smiles. It seems that she has found a way to integrate these Reiki. It turns out that she doesn't need to guide them at all. The simplest thing she can do now is to play the role of an invader and chase after the fire Reiki. The fire Reiki of the strange fire is mixed in the meridians. As they run, the Reiki will be absorbed and assimilated. This is much easier than Lin Luoran directing Reiki into her body. Sure enough, the wakan of a higher level is easy to use. At the same time, Lin Luoran feels lucky that she has passed the level of training Qi under the watch of cultivators in the level of laying foundation. Otherwise, she can't overcome the gap between the two powers even if she has many treasures. What is happening inside Wenguanjing's body is very interesting. In fact, Cyan Little Fox thinks that Lin Luoran is holding Wen's hand and, in a daze. It is a little anxious, but the white fox comforts it. The Cyan Little Fox puts its head on the white fox's leg and stares at the two humans. It is also thinking about something. It is a little scary that a fox can have something on its mind. However, Cyan Little Fox knows a lot of things and it can think. Of course, there are some things it doesn't understand. For example, why did Whitey save the man and steal the medicine for him at the risk of his life? Fortunately, it found this human woman who looked nice and helped it save Bai. As for Whitey, Whitey is not its mother. However, Whitey has been with it for as long as it can remember. The Cyan Fox thinks that Whitey is like a mother. However, every time it calls Whitey mother, Whitey panics. Whitey says that Whitey doesn't deserve to be its mother. The Cyan Little Fox stares at Lin Luoran and Wenguanjing on the ground. Whitey says that it needs to choose one person and go back to the ground with them. The ground. The Cyan Little Fox thinks of the yellow sand it once saw secretly and it is reluctant to go back to the ground. The ground doesn't seem to be as fun as the underground. However, if it really has to choose one person, the human woman is more pleasing to the eye. The man is so dull that he won't touch him even if he brings him back. As for the woman, there is a light fragrance of medicine on her. Whitey starts to teach it again. Yes, it can't let the human race know that it is smart. Also, it can't be too stupid. It is said that the human race is very realistic and they don't like stupid pets. Well, they are not pets at all. Oh, and it can't tell them where they come from. The Cyan Little Fox really wants to roll its eyes. It doesn't know where they come from either. How can it tell them? Besides, it can't speak the human language. It forgets to think why it can understand them. This is the first time it has seen a human. Today is really a day full of ups and downs. The Cyan Little Fox yawns and falls asleep beside the white fox's leg. It thinks that Whitey is so long-winded. Anyway, they will stay together forever. It can just remind it later. Seeing that the Cyan Little Fox is sleeping soundly, the white fox touches its twitching ears and looks up at Lin Luoran with a serious expression. Is this human female cultivator really suitable with such a low level of cultivation? Unfortunately, it doesn't have much time. It can't wait any longer. Sigh, so be it. At the very least, she has a good heart. There weren't many cultivators like her who could treat the alien race like this, even in the past. Thinking of this, the white fox becomes gentle again. Lin Luoran opens her eyes. She feels a little tired. The Reiki in Wen Guanjing's body finally starts to circulate on its own. She doesn't need to do anything anymore. She just needs to wait for Wen Guanjing to refine the strange fire Reiki and then he will wake up. She felt a gaze peeping at her. When she opened her eyes, she saw two foxes snuggling up to her and sleeping soundly. Was it her illusion? It will take some time for Wen Guanjing to wake up. She can't rush it. Lin Luoran remembers that the space threw her out of the space, so she tries to enter the space again. She disappears on the spot. She has entered the space, but is it still her space? Standing under the apple tree in the space, Lin Luoran is in a daze. The drizzle falls on her face. Lin Luoran can't help but lick her face. It is sweet, like spring water, but the Reiki is much thinner. Well, this is not a problem. The problem is that it has never rained since she got the space. A gentle wind blew on her face. If it weren't for the traces of the deviant flame in her space, she would have suspected that someone had replaced her space. There are 2 peach trees, an apple tree, wild grapevines, and a newly planted tea tree. Spirit wine and harvested vegetables are neatly placed under the apple tree. They are not wet by the rain. The scorpion shell is washed black and shiny. It lies quietly on the ground. Wasn't it under the tree before? How come it changed its position? Has the space become bigger? Lin Luoran continues to check. Nothing unusual happens in the space. Except for some spirit herbs and some vegetables that were accidentally trampled on, nothing in the space had changed. Lin Luoran looks to the side. There is a ball of fire opposite to the pool. Surrounded by diamonds of fire, the strange fire is crystal clear and it seems to be bigger than when she first saw it. It burns and hardens the soil around it. It is lying in the pit, which is less than 3 feet deep. Lin Luoran feels that she is looking at a small volcano. The strange fire has settled down in the space. Then, Lin Luoran feels that she seems to understand the change of space. As a liberal arts student, Lin Luoran still remembers some common sense of nature even though she has left her books for many years. For example, the cause of the wind. There may be no force of Earth rotation or friction in the space, but there is definitely a pressure difference in the space now. Air flows from a place with high pressure to a place with low pressure, so it forms wind. The main cause of the pressure difference is the uneven heating. Before, there was only a pool in the space. Now there is a small volcano which seems small but contains a huge amount of fire Reiki. Finally, there is a temperature difference. Cold air meets hot air, drizzle falls, and wind blows. Lin Luoran can't help but smile. It turns out that the space she owns has such great potential for growth. Will it become a small but complete real world in the future? As she grows up, the space will also grow up, right? Lin Luoran is looking forward to it. Everyone is responsible for the promotion of Love Group. Book Group, 171249203. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.